I've never been so happy to see Asheville, North Carolina in all of my life. Just, all right, so I'm going to be really, I'm going to try to be as honest as I can without really upsetting people from Wisconsin. Why do we have an NFL team in that damn place? That's like the land time forgot. It's like we put an NFL team out in the middle of a cow pasture and, hey, figure it out. Hey, figure it out. That'll be fun. Oh, God. It's super boring. That's the nicest way to say it. I wouldn't know. No, you're not. No, you're not. I said this. Oh, I can't imagine what it's like when it's cold. I also can't imagine what it's like when it's hot because you have bugs that I've never seen the likes of. Oh yeah, and
They were living their best lives. They were coming together, they were mating, and then immediately dying and falling on the sidewalk. So you just had dead bugs all over the sidewalk. It was gross. It was gross. And then the fact that it rained half the time that we were there, and it was misty, and just the roads are terrible. People are wonderful.
the
history
roads.
of Lambeau
God, I'm
Field
glad
is
you said the
amazing.
roads. Hey, Wisconsin DOT, stop building roads 18 inches at a time. What are you doing?
Every
Good
road is built
God.
in like a little panel. So every time that giant truck hit one of those things, it's almost like they intentionally did it to be like stairs. So you're like riding a skateboard downstairs for 57 miles.
Oh my God, dude! I was trying
Good
to work
night.
between the draft and the house, and I'm literally sitting there with my computer in my lap, and I can't even type because I feel like I'm riding on a dune buggy, and there is a player profile that I swear to God is the funniest thing you've ever read because it's just. And now I'm trying to remember who the player was. I think it was Jamari Caldwell. Jamari Caldwell is because I hit like every key except the one I wanted.
Yeah. The shocks on the Parks Ford of Hendersonville mobile studio is, they're going to have to be checked out, JW. I apologize. I tried to manage as best as I could, as I have driven 3,782 miles.
It's not
and
quite
I
that
don't
many.
think that's an exaggeration.
It's not quite that many, but it's
you
3,000 legit.
Are you sure? Because
I did the math. I was curious.
I mean, it feels like 87,000. It feels like I just flapped my wings to the moon and back. I am exhausted.
We're all dead. I talked to Cowboy Zach Hurst this morning. He went, "This sucks. Like I don't want to do anything else." He's getting a massage right now, and I told him, I said, "That means
I hate him
that
so
you
much.
are going to be dead by 2."
God, that makes like the 400th time I've told Zach Hurst I hate him this weekend. Man.
Yeah.
It's been a rough struggle, guys. All right. I'm at a point in my life where things don't work all that well. It's been an uncomfortable several days.
Poor Mrs. Tank.
No. Oh no. Let's just say
he's like it doesn't work well, but it never did. But it's at 110%. I'm giving her all she's got, Captain.
I had a warm welcome when I got back last night. I'm just
That's
sharing too much with you people today.
You do. Yeah,
we're all family when we come to Wisconsin because it's the only thing to care about. Like, the only reason anybody on planet Earth cares about Wisconsin is that you might have an unfortunate soul that you might be blood related to that unfortunately has to live there.
And look, I'm sure Milwaukee's fine. Green Bay, NFL, the Green Bay Department of Commerce put out a tweet that said, "They told us we couldn't do it, but we feel very sure in saying we'll see you soon." I swear to God, if you go find that post on all their social medias, because I made sure to hit it on all of them, from my personal, not from the show, from me, I said, I'll bet you don't. I'll bet you don't ever see hiding her hair of most of us ever again.
Oh, man. Look, again, the people are wonderful. And the pageantry. Look, here's the thing. It makes me understand Green Bay Packer fans and Wisconsin Badger fans so much more. Like, you think of all of the history in football, professionally and in college. Like, Wisconsin, that's a pretty good brand in college football, right? The jump around thing is awesome, right? Long history of all these good running backs. At least in my lifetime, been a pretty relevant program, and their fans are super rabid. I understand every bit of that. I don't know what Madison's like. I haven't been to Madison, but I got to imagine it probably sucks as much as Green Bay does.
I didn't see.
He's probably better with the college atmosphere, right? Like, this was old people.
Oh, well, I mean, all you had was the Boosie's Pleasure Club out in little Pterodactyl Bay. And I'm telling you right now, I am so mad we never got to that place. Yeah. If I ever do end up back in Green Bay, I will stay in that same house, and I will spend 3 nights just people watching at the Little Sturgeon Bay Pleasure Club at Bowling Alley and Car Care Center.
I will be happy. I'll be happy to go back to Green Bay. If it pays well. I mean, good.
I'll be happy to go back.
And I want first-class flight. I want to be in there. You get me a car to take me to that stadium. I will have fun. I mean, we can go an hour before kickoff and let me just, take in the scenery, because seeing it on a game day would be really cool. But we're going to go early in the season. And all of these plans have to be flexed, because if it's going to be like 50 degrees on September the 22nd or whatever day this is, then it's flexible.
Well,
it's flexible. I want the first class experience or nothing.
God, we revved him up. I can't. For the first time in the history of this show, we revved him up. Now I can't get a word in edgewise. Is this how you feel all the time?
Yeah, pretty much. I apologize. I'm dominating the time.
So our we have a slew of super chats, so get your finger on the button for that.
All right.
Detroit Fan Man said, worst pick of the draft, was still the NFL. Green Bay continues to be a very silly place to host this event. And this is a great time to say that we are on the countdown officially 361 days until the start of the Yinzer Excrement Show that will be next year when Jeremy and all his West Virginia just absolute hoodlum buddies take over the NFL draft. We're going to merge with the Pat McAfee Show. I feel very sure of it, and we're going to show y'all what the business is.
The fun times are coming, no doubt about it. And the NFL draft trip was fantastic. It was awesome to have everybody, tuning in with us. Great to have, David Smith of Armchair Commentary, Cowboy Zach Hurst, Glue Guy Jonathan Welch.
Glue guy.
He was awesome.
No, he was awesome. If it wasn't for him, we would have starved to death and died, for sure.
Absolutely.
And then I would have been buried in Green Bay, and I'd have haunted Lake Michigan forever.
Yeah. All right, let's get to these Super Chats. With the best division in at least the AFC, if not the NFL grade-wise, the AFC West.
I will say the AFC West is the best division in the NFL, period. And there were several really good weeks from those teams. We will start draft grades after just about outside. So we'll do it just outside at 12:30. And we'll hit draft grades after that. And because we have a story that we have to talk about, and Jeremy did way too much legwork not to talk about it. And that's what we're going to do the next one.
Okay.
We will also release teams. We're not going division by division this time. And as we do it, you'll understand why. We did this by grade. So if your team was good, you're going to hear it early. If your team was bad, you'll hear it late. And in the AFC, we did indeed have something that we hadn't done this in a year. We had a Gary Busey.
Only one?
For the in the AFC, yes. For those of you that are new to we have an Alex Jones in the NFC. So I that's the first one of those we've ever had. It's just kooky madookie, conspiracy theory, serial killer, awful.
Right.
For those of you that don't know, our grading system goes A, B, C, D, F, just like every other grading system. We also have a very rarely used Gary Busey. And that's where what you did was so confusing, so unbelievably stupid, that I cannot wrap my head around it. In the YouTube chat, I implore those great listeners of this here program, try to guess who our Gary Busey was. If anybody gets it right, I'll be nominally surprised.
All right, let's hit this super chat from our good friend, Great North. Nothing but fantasy football since we left the Airbnb. I have 400 players on an Excel already. It says, shout out to the Snake Island Pleasure Club. May we never see you again. Okay, so I'm not alone in that. Good.
No.
Just wanted to make sure nobody had second thoughts when they got home and was like, you know what? That was better than I thought it was.
I left such a good review.
Not.
I left such a good review on Airbnb, even though the Airbnb grading system, your grading system's stupid. It's 5 stars if you made it through the week. It's 4 stars if the house should be set on fire. It's 3 if the house should be dilapidated. It should just be completely flattened.
Just raised.
Just
2, blow it up.
2, I don't know how bad it would have to be if medical attention was needed.
And an asteroid fell on it, and you ended up, buried underneath the planet of the apes.
And it's a 1 if we needed to call in a young priest, an old priest, and have a seance. That's dumb, but that was a 5-star place. It was worked out perfectly. Now,
yes,
I did not have to sleep in the bunk room like 3 of you did. And secret time, if we take 10,000 trips, 10,000 of them, I will never sleep in a bunk room.
Well, of course you won't. Of course you won't.
Ever.
We don't think any of us don't know that about you.
Let me I'm going to make this as clear as I can. Daddy gets a big piece of chicken. Okay? Right. We all got it. I do the accommodations.
Look, we all went for a good time, not a long time. And we let Glue Guy have the other bed. And we were fine. We were fine just flopping where that's my spot. Okay, I'm going to see that like 3 hours.
Look, there are very few times that I will ever assert my dominance. 1 is if I ever end up in jail, and I will do it within the first hour. Smack the biggest guy with your lunch tray, find another big guy, kiss him on the mouth. I'm crazy, and I need you to know it.
Yeah.
2 is in sleeping arrangements. I will always get the big piece of chicken, or I will leave it up to y'all if you figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
First time I have to sleep in a bunk, on y'all. First time we sleep in a sleeping stab, I guarantee somebody will go, just let him do it. He pines over this.
All right, let's hit this super chat from Colin before we go to the break. This community is the best on YouTube, hands down. I had 5 teams with an A grade this weekend. 5 teams with an A grade. How many did you have?
A's?
Yeah.
Ooh. Will I take a commercial break? I'll add it up in the break. I know I had 1 Alex Jones. I had 1 Gary Busey. I had a whole bunch of does. I had several sus. A handful of buzz. And then a few A's. Okay. I had a few A pluses. And the teams that got A pluses, many of them make me sad in my heart.
All right, you're in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400, of course, everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Thank you so much to Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. Parks Ford of Hendersonville, Clarissa Sells, WNC.com, and Bears Smokehouse Barbecue, BearsBBQ.com. For helping us live the dream. We lived the dream. We went to the 2025 NFL Draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and we discovered one thing. That, if nothing else, Asheville, North Carolina is far superior to Green Bay, Wisconsin in every way.
We learned that Green Bay, Wisconsin is a place where caribou should fornicate and not much else should happen.
We are happy to be home. We are happy to be back with you. We'll be right back.
What's the best place to reach new customers for your business? Wherever they are. And that's exactly where...
Clear.
With
Thank you.
iHeartMedia, we talk to our listeners everywhere, from the car to the gym to the kitchen. Your next customer is listening. And not only can we get your message to your audience, we can also show you how it's working in real time. That goes for broad brand messaging and targeted hyperlocal influencer campaigns alike. Start growing your business today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah, and they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues.
All right,
Bear's
when we
Smokehouse
come
Barbecue
back,
in
I want to
downtown
talk about
Asheville and
Shadur,
South
and then I never want to talk. I never want to speak his name
We've
again.
got breaking news from Capitol Hill.
I spent 2 hours this morning trying to shut this down, and I succeeded.
Major breakthrough in medical research.
At this point, if you don't want to listen to me, it's fine. The NFL's racist. Somehow, I still will never figure out how that is. The owners are colluding against Deion Sanders. I never understand that one either. But if you can hear this and still believe that, you're a crazy person.
24/7 News on iHeartRadio.
The quest to regain the division crown starts now. So be here for every huge moment of the Braves 2025 season.
First pitch, ground ball right side. Diving stop by Ozzie. Got him. Whoa, what a play by Albies.
The mountain's home for the Braves. ESPN Asheville.
Fly ball to deep right by Marcel. That's way back and gone. Home run Ozuna.
Join us for Atlanta Braves baseball all season on Asheville's #1 sports station, ESPN Asheville.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Looking to buy or sell in Western North Carolina? At Clarissa Sells WNC, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County.
By the way, I want to state
selling
this for the
over
record.
100
I
homes
saw
in
about 50
2024.
guesses on the
We
team that got the
represent
Gary
both buyers
Busey.
and sellers,
Nobody
and
got
with
it right.
a personalized approach to meet your needs.
At Clarissa Sells WNC, real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. Call me today, Clarissa Marshall, at 828-774-6343. When it comes to
We all wait in anticipation of the explanation.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville.
I'm
Our
so
purpose,
tired
to
that I
improve
physically
lives
could
with
not
every
get the
interaction.
cover of
Nominate
this
your
video
Parks
in the
Community
frame.
Hero
It
today
was
at
teeny tiny the first time,
parkscommunityheroes.com.
and it wasn't even lined up the second
Doug,
time.
whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and
Everything just kind of blurs together, doesn't it?
like Eric, who hosted the
I
football
told
team
Amy, I
to
was like, you
support
rest
their
assured, I'm
neighbors and
taking a
begin the
couch
cleanup
nap,
efforts.
3:07
Nominate
today.
your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's Parks.
No doubt about it.
Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
At Ingles, we know that fresh
Is this the last
means
commercial?
local. The best
Yes.
come from
15
a world
seconds?
away. They come from
Yeah, you got like 9 seconds.
farms we support, to the stores we love, to the tables you treasure. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
It is ESPN Asheville. It's the Sportsocracy, and back at home, man. I just watching the bridge. I mean, I never thought I'd look at the Jeff Bowen Bridge and go, "Damn, I'm glad to see you, you well-built machine."
I'm not gonna lie to you.
What a
I saw
night.
that we came back
Highway
through Hot
57,
Springs to avoid the
Wisconsin.
gorge.
Do better. Do better.
Nobody knows what you just said because you said it literally underneath me talking.
Oh, sorry.
Say it again.
What? All of that?
Yes, because
I
was talking through the
just-
whole thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying it's just so nice to see the Bowen Bridge. I never thought I would want to see the Bowen Bridge again. Like and think of it as like an architectural marvel that Wisconsin needs to do better.
We came back through Hot Springs. I was happy to see Hot Springs, all 500 feet of it. This is good. I'm good. I'm glad to be here. I'm happy to be. I love it all. I love all the things.
All right. So I don't want to talk about the thing.
Well,
you
we're
said
going to
in the
talk
break
about the thing.
we needed to talk about the thing, and I don't want to talk about the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Shadur Sanders.
Yep.
This is the last one.
I'll never mention his name again until he plays snap in the NFL.
The last gasp here. Look, he's just not, he wasn't that good, and every team looked at him to me the same way. Of he is not worth the headache that he is going to bring to me.
All right, so I spent my morning trying to come up with the way to make the crazy people understand what I'm getting ready to say. And I think I did it in a way that makes sense. Joe Shane basically lived in Boulder, Colorado last year. He was at every single Colorado Buffalo home game, all of them. Shadur took that as, I'm going to the Giants. That's why he wore the cleats in the bowl game. That's why he did practically everything I'm getting ready to say. The way the NFL draft works is you only have so many scouts. So you can only do full write-ups on every single guy. I know you've seen it, so this is kind of a rhetorical question to the people listening to the show. You ever see the movie Draft Day, where Cleveland trades up to 1, they pass on Bo Callahan, the can't-miss quarterback, and then the 5 teams behind them do the same thing because they don't know what Cleveland just found? Here's why that actually is one of the few things in that movie that actually made sense. If you think there's no chance you're getting a guy, you're not going to spend the time. You're not going to do the work. You're not going to send somebody to do the eval. You're not going to have him in the building because there's no chance he's going to get to you. I have talked to people all around the NFL this morning. You know what kept coming back to me? Was teams saying, we couldn't take him. We had done nothing on him. We knew nothing other than what we had heard, and everything we had heard is bad. Now, there were about 9 teams that did full workups on Shadur Sanders. I'm going to tell you now why every single one of them didn't take him. I'm not going to tell you which team is which, but I'm going to tell you that every bit of what I'm getting ready to say came from teams themselves. One team did an interview with him at the Combine that he didn't even want to do, and at one point in it, he explicitly said, if y'all love me this much, you'll have to trade up to get me because I won't be there. That was a direct quote. Another team liked him to a point and thought he could be a developmental piece. However, at one point during the process, he said, there's no way I'm sitting on a bench for more than half of a season. These are all direct quotes from people that these things were said to. Another team liked him, I'll say, okay. They have an established starter, and they determined that him being on the bench was not going to be conducive to anybody, because if the starter had a couple of bad games, there would be people in the fan base saying we should bench starter X for Shadur Sanders, which we would never do in 1,000,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm going to tell you the one where he really screwed up big time. I've already told you about the Combine thing, where he went and got Josina Anderson, got her to do a stand-up interview inside the meeting room, which is just a 100% absolute no-no.
Mm-hmm. While Jimmy Horn was on the podium. That rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Now I'm going to tell you where he really screwed up. He went to the New York Giants. They had him on a top 30 visit. He could not even be bothered to take his headphones off to talk to John Mara. John Mara talks to every person in this league. John Mara the Mara family is a founding institution of the NFL. When he says something, it goes a long way. I have it on good authority. Brian Daboll wanted Jackson Dart the whole time anyway, because he sees Jackson Dart as a Josh Allen light. Hyper competitive, loves football, big arm, mobile, all of the things that Brian Daboll was successful with Josh Allen. He thinks that's the guy that's going to keep him employed by the New York Giants. The front office of the Giants and probably the ownership group, they were torn of Shadur
or Jackson Dart. Here's where that changed. When Shadur Sanders walked through the New York Giants facility and met John Mara for the first time and did not take his headphones off, John Mara went, I'm done. Brian, you want Jackson Dart? Go get me Jackson Dart. If you couldn't be bothered enough to take your headphones off, to talk to a billionaire that owns the team that you're expecting to take you, that tells me everything I need to know. And it told John Mara that. And I'm gonna give you a story from my life. I used to hire people every day. It was part of my job. And the number one thing I judged you on was how you dressed. If you couldn't be bothered to put on a pair of slacks and a button-up, or at the absolute very least a polo, I didn't even do the interview. I had a kid one time with a great resume that came into my office wearing a pair of shorts. He didn't make it to the chair. I don't need to know anything else about you. That's everything I need to know. You don't know how to be a professional, and I don't want to deal with that. Same thing happened with John Mara. And guess what? He wasn't quiet about it.
Yep.
He didn't keep it to himself and just yell it at his dog and tell it to his children. Speaking of children, we have a story in the next segment that, it's a bad day for one NFL coach's kid. I guarantee you it was not a fun conversation.
No, not at all.
The Shadur Sanders thing is not hard to figure out. There were only a handful of teams that had done the due diligence enough to actually take him. Mm-hmm. When those chairs started getting filled up, this turned into a game of musical chairs. You don't have a chair to sit in.
The Cleveland Browns did the work on him, right?
The Cleveland Browns did do the work on him, yes.
The Cleveland Browns went all in. Did you see Andrew Berry? Did you see the press conference?
I loved when they drafted him. By the way, that 100% came from Haslam. That pick was not made by the front office. Jimmy Haslam came down and said, you're taking Shadur Sanders right now.
Okay.
That's why Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski looked like they were cheering for the body at a funeral.
No doubt. I was watching Andrew Berry, and he's just deadpan looking into the camera going, he's going to have to come in here and work. Ain't nothing's given. You're going to have to come in here and work. You're going to have to come in here and compete. And that's who would have thought at the beginning of this process, or even going into draft day, that Shadur Sanders would be taken as a camp arm.
The problem is, and this was told to me,
the hype machine was big.
And nobody bought it. You can attest to this. I told you this through the whole process. The NFL's not as high on Shadur Sanders as you think they are. Now, I think he was going to fall to the 5th round. No, I did not.
No.
But I had him at 78, and I actually said this on a couple shows in the process. I think Shadur falls way further than you think.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't see a landing spot that makes any sense. And as soon as I knew Pittsburgh was out, as soon as I knew the Rams were out, as soon as I knew the New Orleans Saints were out, as soon as I knew the Jets were out, I went, our dance card's going to fill up quick here because Tennessee's getting Cam Ward. I had heard the Jackson Dart thing, but I thought it was with the other New York team, not the Giants. Tyler Shuck and Quinn Ewers were allegedly going to slot in there somewhere. I have a couple stories on Quinn Ewers, too. That Quinn Ewers, he kind of fell into the same boat that Shadur did.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really learn anything from the last handful of years, did you? And that's why he was sitting in the Caribou Room in the 7th round.
Hey, it was not only though, not only did Shadur get his moment in the sun.
Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
Soaring Eagle says it's almost as if Jason Light watched Tank and company clowning on the Browns for taking Shadur and forgot to realize, hey, there's another Sanders kid. Maybe we shouldn't do that because my team got Shiloh in the process. So it's something to celebrate for every kid in that family.
And Deion Jr. got approved for a new credit card. Everybody had a good day.
Oh man, it was a sight to see.
Matt had a super chat as well before we go to commercial break.
Oh, what's that?
Said Matt had a super chat too before we go to commercial break.
Okay.
And I've been watching this closely. This would be a great video to clip so people can see this. I'm going to. That's why I wanted to do it this way. And now I'm going to tell you the last layer of this, and this is what pisses me off to no end. And yeah, I said that word. I just don't say it much. This is one of those times that it applies. I told this exact same thing to no less than 100 media guys this morning. To the point of it's copy and pasted on the clipboard of my computer right now. And you know what I got? From a shocking number. Silence.
Mm-hmm.
You want to keep being mad about this, about something that it's not. And by the way, I'm just going to keep telling you this. If you tell me the NFL's racist one more time, I'm going to keep asking you, then why was the number one pick an African-American kid?
Right.
Oh, by the way, an African-American kid that was a 0-star recruit raised by a single parent that went to a school that you wouldn't know where in this world it was, and he worked his tail off, and every single team I talked to said, I don't think he's an elite talent, but I think he's an elite guy. That's a direct quote from this morning. He's not an elite talent, but he is an elite human.
Mm-hmm.
That was very different than what I heard on Shadur. So I get it. You want to be mad and you want to be on the right side of all these things, and you think it makes you cool to sit here and go, it's a shadow ban on Shadur Sanders. No, it actually makes you sound like Alex Jones. That's exactly what this makes you sound like. It makes you sound like an idiot. And every time I hear it, I go, you just do you understand that 90% of people hear that and roll their eyes so far in the back of their head that they can see their brain? This is not hard to figure out. The tape wasn't that good, and the kid was terrible. He obliterated this process. And now I say the thing that I wanted to say at the end of this to put a period on it. Cam Newton never got another real shot. Colin Kaepernick didn't get another real shot. Tim Tebow didn't get another real shot. Johnny Manziel didn't get another real shot. And you want me to tell you why? Because you can be loud. You can be so loud and so obnoxious and just absolutely the most annoying guy in the room. You better have the talent to back it up. Because this league's made it really clear. You can be quiet and average and employed. You cannot be loud and average and employed. We'll give you one shot. And when you boo-boo kitty that, go enjoy being an analyst for CBS Sports, because that's where you're headed.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Still looking great, and still
thank you
a
for
small
indulging
rain
me on
chance
that.
Tomorrow afternoon.
That was good.
Here by Wednesday. How about a sunny 75 today? Not bad. Tonight, clear 50. Tomorrow, maybe a hit or miss.
We're
storm
off
in the
radio
afternoon,
now.
up near 80. Wednesday,
Correct.
a few showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Highs will be just above 80 degrees. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray.
Yes, sir.
There we
Report
go.
is sponsored by Macy's
so now
Backstage.
for the
What will
YouTube
you
only
find at
audience,
Macy's Backstage? How about
I'm going to
fun
tell you a
Mother's Day
direct
gifts,
quote that
all
I
for
couldn't
under
say on radio
$15.
because this
Get
was
low
totally
prices every
off
day on
record
unique
and
finds
under
before they're gone. In store
police
only at
persuasion.
Macy's
I would never
Backstage
tell you
today.
who said
Find a
this.
location near you at Macy'sBackstage.com.
A guy
Off
that was
price,
in
on
an
trend,
interview
arriving
at
daily.
the Combine with Shadur Sanders,
Jessie
the verbatim
loves
was,
playing
I've
detective.
never wanted to hit a prospect
But
so
since we
bad.
discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was
wow.
I've never wanted to hit a prospect so bad.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean.
Gambit fan said, be honest, Jeremy, how good did that feel to get off your chest?
So it's gentle on your
I'm not going to lie to you. It felt real good. I wish I could tell you everything
got
I
to be
knew.
clean.
I can't,
It's got
but
to
I
be
wish
Tide
I
Free and
could.
Gentle.
Another checkup? Why are so many people getting new puppies?
Dr. Kim's veterinary office is littered with cuteness.
We are booked.
And what
solid
makes
for
me really
weeks.
angry
Who can say
is
no
the
to
fact
a
that I
puppy,
told
right?
that to a ton of media
Oh,
entities,
boy.
and I'll guarantee you, you
She
will
needs
not
to
hear what I
find
just
extra
said
vet
on
techs
any other
to
show
get
but
those
this one
pups
all day
some
long.
extra love.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, candidates can find it easier, so you can
Bob
hire
Brown asked me
easier.
what team.
Redeem
I
your
can't tell you.
$75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
All about the presets.
That is the best new feature. It's like a car
The
radio
only thing
right on
the only thing
Hey,
to that
I would have
extent-
said it. whatever organization I ran, I would have said it.
The only thing
when I
can
heard
tell
about the
you there-
headphones thing, I was like,
The only thing I can tell you there is it was a team that did
This
need a
is
quarterback.
J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford. of
You'll have to
Hendersonville,
draw your own
introducing you to
conclusions
this
from there.
month's Parks Community Heroes. Corey and Kristen
I'll also
Short and the
protect my
entire
closest
team at
sources.
Silverados,
It was not
who
my team.
converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation and distribution zone in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Corey and his team founded Valley Strong Disaster Relief, dedicated to providing essential support to our neighbors in need. Nominate your Parks Community
And yes,
Hero
Flying
at
Scotsman, the headphones thing
parkscommunityheroes.com.
was real.
Parks
He didn't
today
take his
at
headphones off the entire time he was with the Giants.
In the
Zach
aftermath of
Hurst told me that on
Hurricane
Saturday,
Helene,
and I went,
we
that
found out a
can't
lot of
possibly
things
be
about our
true.
community.
I
We
asked.
saw neighbors
It was
helping
true.
neighbors, and we
He
learned
left
that
a pair of
desperate
Beats
times were the
headphones
best
on
things
his
to have
head the
around
entire
as a
time he was
redneck with a
there.
chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy. Just
And I'm not talking about around his neck. They were
his
over
mouth,
his
you
ears
figure it
the
out.
entire
He
time he
makes
walked
stuff
through that
happen.
campus.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
Welcome to Harvest
How they're trying to
Farms,
do process of elimination. They're like, if we
where the
keep him
best
talking,
organic or
he'll
natural
eventually say
products
enough
are
little
waiting for
clues
you.
that we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
filled with flavor.
So stop talking.
And every bite
Probably
is
should, yeah.
backed with
Yeah.
quality and attention. This is a place of affordable organic adventure, where freshness reigns supreme, that can only be found at Ingles. Harvest Farms Organics. You'll love what's inside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Back in the Sportsocracy, it is ESPN. Actually, I think this is where we should slide in the whole, the 12-year-old that pulled the prank.
I feel like
Shadur
we should
Sanders.
just do this as a combo outside story.
Yeah.
We'll only tell
Yeah.
this one story.
Yeah, because this is, it's ridiculous. If you haven't heard the story, so it was Jeff Ulbricht's son, apparently, that called Shadur Sanders. And the story is that he found the number that only NFL teams had been given. Like, it was a brand new phone that was provided to Shadur Sanders, and the number was given to NFL teams and said, this is your source, your way to contact him on draft day. Apparently, Jeff left the window open on his iPad or something, and the kid, who's 21 years old.
That's the most baffling part to me. Is he's
Right.
20? What is a junior in college?
It's a 21-year-old named Jax, though. I mean, how high of a maturity level could you expect?
Well, what do you think? Those guys they get named that and they change their name at 19?
Jeez,
that's his name.
Of course, his name is Jax. Jax Ulbrich steals the number and pulls the prank. Now, there were other players that were pranked throughout the day.
Tyler Warren's the one we know about. Allegedly,
Right.
there are others.
Right. None of that has been confirmed as to who it was or anything. I mean, it's not like he's been tied to those, right? But I would think it's probably him.
He got the numbers off an open iPad at his dad's house.
Right.
That could have gotten Jeff Ulbrich fired.
Absolutely.
Dan Patrick was talking this morning that the league should discipline Jeff Ulbrich, which
I
I
think they should.
cannot disagree with that anymore if I tried.
Really?
If I can't work in my own damn house, where can I work? You've got two kids, too. And I just so happen to know both of your kids. 3 years from now, if they do something stupid, do you think we should fire you?
I'm not saying fire.
No. Should you be disciplined because your kids in your own home broke into your office? Then you shouldn't work at home ever.
Yeah.
To me, that's the most insane. And I know Jeff, and I'll be straight up honest here. I may not be the most rational about this because I do know Jeff, and Jeff is a pro's pro. And of all people for this to happen to, it makes me so angry that this is Jeff Ulbricht's kid. Because Jeff's one of my top 10 favorite guys that have ever worked for the Jets. I think he is such a good human, and he works his tail off. And it does not shock me that there was an open iPad in his house because he was probably watching it in bed. Mm-hmm. He was probably watching it on the toilet. He was probably watching it on the couch with his wife while they were watching Fire Country. And it doesn't surprise me in the least. And if I can't work in my own home, where can I?
Right.
And then I get to B. And B is the most interesting question of all to me. How did that conversation go between Jeff and Jax? Because I have my own theory. I'm going to let you go first, then I'm going to tell you how I think it went.
I cannot tell you how that conversation would have gone in my household. There would have been several expletives and a whole lot of I don't know what to do with that. How do you not physically assault someone?
Oh,
right? Like, how do you compose yourself and just all of your angst and anger of, I thought I would have raised a better person. I thought I would have taught you better. Right? There are just there's some things that you don't mess with. And that it's you put me in a bad spot with my employer. Right, because now this discussion's being had.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we're talking about it here, it's being talked about everywhere. And so now my name is in the boss's office. The commissioner of the NFL is now talking about me. Because that does raise the security question for the NFL. If we're going to disseminate this private information to teams, we need to have some assurances that these things are going to be taken care of, right? That that's not the sensitive information. It's got to be protected. Well, I mean, this is what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to avoid players' numbers getting out. I don't know how you could have guarded against that. As you were talking there, I was just thinking, yeah, my kids would be stupid enough to do something like that. 100%. I have no doubts in my mind. They would do that. And they would think it's funny. But my kids are 14. You know, the kid's age makes a difference to me. He's not a kid. That's a grown-ass man.
It definitely does. Now I'm going to tell you how it would have gone with me, and I'm not going to say it's how it went with Ulbrich, but I'm also not going to say it's not how it went. I'm going to it just starts taking his belt off. By the way, you need to fix your camera because you just reactivated it. Jeff takes his belt off. His kid goes, "Oh, what, are you going to spank me? I'm not a 21-year-old boy anymore." And Jeff goes, "Nope, I'm going to beat your ass. You're 21 now. You're a grown-up boy. Now you get punched in the face by daddy." And that's how this is about to go. We going to roll around in the yard because I'm going to whoop you to death. That's how I believe that went.
Right.
Nah. This ain't a spanking time. This is now you get to see what it's like to be an adult, and there are still repercussions to your actions. That it's not a little spank on the bottom. No, now it's punched in the face by a real man.
Yeah. I never thought my own son would get me fired. Or at least try to get me fired, because there's a good chance that that's how that could have gone.
No doubt.
In the heat of the moment, if that had been different, if that had, if Shadur had reacted differently, right? If it had caused some type of a reaction bigger than it did, more than just a, hey, what was that? It was a bummer moment, and I saw the video, but had that gone differently, that could have caused something, and this could have been a bigger deal.
Stephen Tao said if
it became a bigger deal, then that's my ass on the line.
Stephen Tao said if you say you didn't do anything stupid at 21, you're a liar. But yeah,
No
this
doubt.
was dumb. I didn't do anything that could ruin my dad's career. I was smarter than that at 21.
Mm-hmm.
I might not have been smarter with myself. I wouldn't have done this at 12.
I possibly could have.
I would not. I would have never done it.
I'm just. There was a time in my life where pranking people on the phone was cool. Remember, they had a television show all about it. Roy D. Mercer was one of my heroes in the radio business. Prank phone calls were hilarious in the 1990s. The Jerky Boys. There was a time where, I mean, there were lots of us kids who were playing on the telephones, and I've pranked a lot of people, calling radio stations and calling TV stations, and I did stuff like that when I was a kid, but I was in middle school. I mean, you're 21 years old and you're still pranking people. I mean, plus you're doing it on a scale like this. I guess searching for your viral moment.
Oh, I would wager.
I don't understand the thought process of how you got there, that this was a good idea.
I would wager that this was a kid trying to be big man in his frat house of, hey, Dad left these numbers up. You want to prank call Shadur? They're sitting there watching the draft going, Shadur's falling. Hey, you want to prank call Shadur? I got the number off Dad's iPad. And then you crush 14 beers. You wake up the next day and you got 80 missed calls from Dad.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention your dad, like I said, I know him. He's kind of a scary dude.
Right.
Dan Patrick said he should just pull him out of school right now. Like, I'm not paying anymore. You want to be dumb? You gonna go get a job with your name on your shirt, there, goober.
No doubt about it.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna ask the mechanic shop that you change oil in to put goober on your shirt, just so they'll know why you're here.
Well, I mean, and however this goes, I mean, he's on a list now, right? If that was the case, there's honor codes and stuff in school that you're going to be watched now. People are going to remember this. You're damaging yourself, but also you put your family in danger.
I'm going to take him out of whatever school.
That's the one thing we preach to we preach to each other constantly. Family matters. That's why it works in a locker room. Because you do whatever you have to for your family. You protect the family. We win as a family. We lose as a family. Putting the family at risk is awful. At 21 years old?
I'd take him out of whatever school he's in and put him in VMI. Hey, you stay in school, but now you're going to VMI. Virginia Military Institute. Dumb.
Still stupid enough to blow it all up. Just for what? So you could have a laugh? It was gross. It was absolutely gross. I know we all privately made Shadur Sanders jokes and publicly made Shadur Sanders jokes.
I was about to say, mine were not privately. Mine was, I just kept looking at the camera going, you remember when I tried to tell you this was coming?
But that was
not like this. I didn't think it was like this. But I did specifically say, don't be shocked. He's still waiting to hear his name and day too.
Yeah. But it was a low move. It was a low move, and you put your dad in danger. And that's a big problem. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We are so glad to be back from Green Bay, Wisconsin. The 2025 NFL draft trip was a whole lot of fun, and we couldn't have done it without our sponsors. Ingles Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings. Parks Ford of Hendersonville, Clarissa sells WBNC.com, and Bears Smokehouse Barbecue. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will. It'll be time for the AFC grades to begin. Wrapping up our 2025 NFL draft coverage.
ESPN Asheville.
Yeah, we're clear.
Your mountain
Hey,
weather
can you
forecast.
hear me? Because you're
Still
talking
looking great
all
and
over
still
me.
think a small rain chance tomorrow.
You started a
afternoon.
sentence earlier when I was like halfway through a
Wednesday.
rant and just
How about a
started
sunny
talking out of
75
nowhere.
today. Not bad. Tonight clear 50.
I mean, I think I can. I didn't realize. I mean,
You've never
the
done-
last one. I didn't have you on at the beginning of the last segment.
Oh,
and that's
okay.
what I could not hear you at the beginning.
That might have been it. Like I was
If
4
you need
sentences
quality
into a
concrete
rant,
with a
and you just
personal
started talking
touch,
out
then
of nowhere.
choose
That's when I went,
Appalachian Site
you gotta
Work
say it
in their
again, 'cause
ready
nobody can
mix
hear what you just
division.
said.
Reliable, high quality concrete for all of your projects.
No, I did the rejoin and I turned on the wrong pot.
And at
Nice.
appsiteinc.com for more information.
So whatever you said did not get heard. I did the intro and just started rolling. I never heard you. And then all of a sudden I figured out, oh, wait.
Plus, housing so.
All right,
Whoops.
maybe that's what it was.
To house.
Yeah.
he needs.
It's like in all the
That's
years we've
where
been doing
Grainger
this, he's
comes
literally
in.
never
With
done
over 1 million industrial grade
he can't
products
hear
and
me,
fast,
or he's
dependable
actually
delivery,
that tired.
Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Don't miss your chance to spring into deals at
Nope, that was my bad. Called a hanger.
5 select 1-pint annuals for just $5. Plus, get a free 60-volt Toro battery when you purchase a select 60-volt Toro electric mower. With deals like these, your yard wins. Shop in-store or online today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/30 while supplies last. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Excludes Hawaii.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from,
we can be twinsies.
I'd beat him till I couldn't lift my arms anymore.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids,
Bingo.
control for parents.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Account subject to approval.
And I'm not gonna lie,
for
Jeff
select mobile
knows.
devices. Message and data.
Right.
Jeff's an intense dude.
For over 40 years, American
He's a
Electric
great
has
dude.
been family-owned and operated right here in WNC. With 3 generations and over 100 dedicated teammates, they are powered to serve our community. Homes and businesses can trust American Electric. Visit a-americanelectric.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with
Time.
eXp Realty.
Yes, sir.
Did you
Number
do that
one
commercial?
real estate team in Buncombe County.
What commercial?
The one that just played where JW slowed down to like,
We're here for what matters
70%.
most. You.
I did not do that commercial.
WMXF
That doesn't
Waynesville,
even sound
225 CJ Candler. The #1 preset in your car and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
We depend on our drinking water supply daily, but where does that water come from? Your water provider encourages you to get to know your local water source so together we can protect and preserve it. The investments we make as a community to protect our water source now ensure we have a sustainable drinking water supply for the future.
We've got
Visit
2 more super chats too. I
drinktap.org to
missed
learn
one
more.
from Abe.
This message is brought to you by the American Water Works Association and your local water provider.
Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has 2 things that all sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues.
Say that again for me.
In downtown Asheville and
We've got 2
South
super
Asheville.
chats.
At
I
Ingles,
missed
we
one
know that
earlier.
fresh means local. The best ingredients don't come from a world away.
Oh,
They
and Colin
come
said
from your
his
own
is
backyard.
for all
From
fair.
the farms we support.
He
to
said
the
Sanders
stores
is
we
a
love,
dumbass
to the
and should never
tables you
been
treasure.
drafted.
Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
We can't. He doesn't want us to say that on the air.
And for your Atlanta
He had a
Braves,
falafel
it's
in there
all
too. I
about
just
a
admitted
fresh
that. I
start.
can't say that with my pot, especially on a day
Deep
where
left
things
field.
got to
Gonna
turn me.
head back to the a 2-run home run.
Join us for Atlanta Braves baseball.
Oh, I see what it says.
Deep right field, hanging high, carrying back to the chop house. Look out!
The mountain's home for the Braves. Asheville's #1 sports station, ESPN Asheville.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, bank. That's bank. Enter it now.
Go to espnavl.com to play, and good luck.
The Sportsocracy.
Fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. We are seen everywhere on YouTube, and man, the intros, those intros are hitting me in my feels today. The Sweeten Creek Road exit is like, oh, that's my exit. Home sweet home after the trip to Green Bay, Wisconsin.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I will always be sad that we did not stop at some point at the Boosie's Pleasure Club, Pool Hall, Bowling Alley, Auto Care Center, and Travel Arrangement Center.
Yes.
Just because now forever in my head it will be what it is instead of what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be sad that I didn't see all the perms, all the Levi denim bootcut jeans, and all of the domestic lights being consumed with Seminole Wind playing in the background.
I will guarantee you that they have more taxidermy on the walls in that place than Quinn Ewers has at his house. No, nothing? Did I lose you?
No, I heard you.
Oh, there you go. Okay, all right.
Look, we were staying in a house that had almost as many animal heads on the wall as Quinn Ewers did. So I'm a little bit overstuffed varmints.
Yeah. All right, we got a couple of super chats to hit. You got to go back up.
Colin said his was for off air, but I'm going to say it on air. I will have to leave out one word he used.
Oh, yeah.
Shadur Sanders is a dumbass and shouldn't have been drafted at all. I can't agree with that, and I can tell you definitively, the 32 owners, somebody was coming down the hall going, do it. Do it now. And that's what happened. It was Jimmy Haslam. Mm-hmm. I will say this, though. Colin's right. I've never seen somebody boo-boo this process as bad as he did. Apparently, Quinn Ewers was pretty close. But I heard some stuff about Quinn Ewers today that was shocking.
Really?
He ain't learned not nary a thing.
Look, the fact that we're even having this discussion, I think is a good thing. You need to have the example made of, look, if you're coming into this league, you're going to be professional. And you're going to treat people with respect. And if not, then that is going to matter to us. Your talent level obviously matters as well. But it just goes to show you, don't be reading all your press, right? Maybe stop watching ESPN TV too much, right? Because that drum got beat a lot. And when the NFL went the other way, everybody went, oh, but for why? Because all we've heard from Mel Kiper is that he's the greatest quarterback in this class.
Yeah,
and he should be number one.
That's the same guy that told you Jimmy Clausen was going to be the second coming to John Elway.
Right.
So maybe take that with a grain of salt.
Right.
I mean,
he
look,
would
and somebody
retire,
said
right,
this,
if he was a bust.
And somebody said this earlier. I did not catch the name, but none of us know what these guys are going to be. Mm-hmm. I will say with NIL, it's helped. An NIL thing came up with Shadur a lot in my fact-finding mission.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good point. You don't know what these guys are going to become. The NFL draft it's all percentages and probabilities because nobody's 100%. That's why I hate the term can't miss. Everybody can miss. In the right situation, or in this case, the wrong situation, everybody can miss. In the right situation, everybody can succeed. Mm-hmm. It's just playing the percentages. And the percentages with Shadur were not very good.
No. All right, our one that we missed.
Go Birds. Appreciate y'all. We appreciate you, Abe, and all of your patronage through our many days, many hours of draft coverage. I ran the numbers on our coverage from the draft, and we did over 500,000 minutes of view time on YouTube.
Right.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. And we appreciate everybody for for letting us try to entertain you.
Especially,
we hope it worked.
And we appreciate all of you, period. But the Shojies that were around for day 3, to see Jeremy just come off the rails on Mason Richmond, let's go. I forgot he was on my board. I was perfect. I think that was at 225 or something like that. I was 225 for 225. There had not been a player yet drafted that was not on my board. And I thought he was the first one. I was spelling his name wrong because I was doing it in the little find thing on my Excel spreadsheet. I forgot there was no D in his name. His name's Rich Man, not Richmond. I found him. I got up and started screaming expletives, doing high knees through the house. And Zach Hurst just started crying.
I had forgotten about that.
Yeah, that was a good moment.
Yeah,
that was a good moment in our history.
It was exciting. It was entertaining. It was a full 3 days of NFL draft bliss in one of the most miserable places and beautiful places with lovely people.
Timothy O'Toole, I think Marcus Bryant, I think, was the second one I didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I already had one that I had missed. I was just trying to hit as many as possible. I can't remember the exact specifics. To be really honest with you, even after 17 hours of sleep yesterday, I'm still real tired.
Man, I would sign up for that 17 hours thing.
Oh,
Today's going to be the day.
Awesome.
Today will be the day for me. Anyhow, you ready to get into some draft grades here, Flo?
Yes, we got one comment before we do that. David L. said, seeing Jeremy want to strike everything that moves when the Jets took Mimbu was worth every minute of watching. I got a lot of response from that. If you hadn't seen it, we're going to clip it and put it up on social media. We'll have to censor it a couple times.
Right.
But, yeah, I wasn't thrilled.
Tell us about that A+ draft from the Cleveland Browns. Now, who were your A drafts in the AFC?
My first one, and it was my highest one of everybody in the AFC, is the New England Patriots. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it wasn't particularly all that close.
They absolutely killed it with just fill the slot. Don't get cute. Don't reach. Fill your needs and move on. Will Campbell, Travion Henderson, Kyle Williams, Jared Wilson, those first 4 picks for me were home run after home run.
Well, I knew it was going to be a good week for New England when your number 4 overall selection, Will Campbell, got up to the mic and said, "I'm ready to die for Drake May." And I went, uh-oh. We're off to a bad start as a Jets fan.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go Travion Henderson in the second round, which I do not love him as a head of the snake. But when you look at him being paired with Ramondre Stevenson, that's about as good fire and lightning-wise as you can get. Or thunder and lightning, I guess, would be. Fire and lightning? That didn't make any sense. I like him in that situation.
Thunder and lightning.
Kyle Williams there in 3. I swear to you, I had him in that pick in every mock draft I did from the combine on. Because that was one that behind closed doors, they weren't even hiding it. Like, you don't take him by 69, we're going to. So you do with that information what you will, but he will be the 69th pick in this draft if you don't get him before us. Jared Wilson was the best center in the class, not particularly all that close. And then you get into some of the guys they hit in the last day. Joshua Farmer, I didn't love him, but if you remember, I didn't love him in the second round. They took him at the end of 4.
Mm-hmm.
Craig Woodson,
137.
That's a high-value special team guy. Braden Swinson, all he can do is rush the passer, but he can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all guys that are going to make this roster. Now, I will say this. Could you please stop taking kickers? Like, I don't know how many times you have to do that before you learn, we don't have to. We don't have to do that.
But somebody might have taken him. I mean,
who cares?
Maybe.
Go get another one that can also make kicks from inside 50 yards because that's all I really need. I also can't wait for Andres Borregales to come to New England and go, damn, it's cold up here.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Miami all these years. I'm not used to, below 70.
And then the 7th round picks, I mean,
don't matter.
Don't matter at all.
Yeah, I don't care.
Didn't hit anything in those.
No, I'll put it this way: undrafted free agents and things like that, if they really matter, I will say them.
Right.
If I don't say them, you just kind of
rest assured.
I also don't. I mean, nothing you do in the 7th round is going to change really anything for me. The undrafted guys, I keep an eye on that just to see, are there any guys that could make the roster? Mm-hmm. And New England had a couple. I'm trying to get the list here. Efton Chisholm. Efton Bragger killed him.
Yeah.
Dog. And by the way, him going to New England makes all the sense in the world, because if there is anybody that loves a 4.7 40 white slot receiver more than New England Patriots, I don't know who it is.
Right.
Efton Chisholm, solid. They also got Elijah Ponder from Cal Poly. It's an edge rusher that I really like. He's going to take some time, but he could make that roster.
Yep. New England Patriots, A+, right?
A+, yes.
A+. Okay. And who was your number 2 class in the AFC?
I think this might surprise you.
Okay.
So I have 3. There are 3 A+ total in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
New England is 1.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore's another.
Okay.
But my actual 2 is the Los Angeles Chargers.
Really?
You care to find me a pick that I'm not going to like? Hey, you took Amarian Hampton, my number 1 running back, at 22.
Yeah.
After Ashton Jeanty went 6. My favorite X receiver in this draft, hey, you remember his name? Yes, Trey Harris.
Trey Harris.
Got him at the end of the 2nd round. Jamboree Caldwell, as Zach Hurst called him, the entire week.
Jamboree.
I told everybody I don't love Jamari Caldwell. You know where I had him ranked?
Where?
100. You know where the Chargers took him? I think it was 90, 86. Is it 86?
86. Yeah.
That's fine. It's fine. He's a BDD that you can develop into a nose tackle, but at 86, you're not expecting him to play right away. Kyle Kennard, dog, as a pass rusher. Keandre Lambert-Smith, one of the most popular receivers in the class. Top 30 visit after top 30 visit after top 30 visit. Aronde Gadsden, dog. R.J. Mickens, dog. I know his dad. I'm so happy he went there. What up, Ray? I loved it. That's a great class. I love what the Chargers did. And it really shows to me there's no irony in the fact that the top 3 teams in the AFC for me in draft grade have 3 of the safest coaches in the AFC. John Harbaugh's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Right.
Jim Harbaugh can do this until lunch of the day he dies with the Chargers. And Mike Vrabel's the savior of the franchise in their mind. It's shocking what teams can do when I don't have to do everything in my power to keep my job this year. Oh, by the way, when we get to the bads, when we get into the Suz and the Does and the Gary Buseys, you're going to see a lot of guys that 1-6-11 year, you're out on your keister.
Mm-hmm. I love the fact that Omarion Hampton will have some time to kind of ease in, right? He's not going to be expected to be the every down guy or have to be
I would not be so
every
sure of
snap
that.
guy.
I would not be so sure of that.
Really?
Well,
I mean, Najee
I saw
Harris,
a picture of
gas in that tank.
Well, I've been keeping eyes on Najee Harris because I saw a picture of him in the airport where he absolutely looked 2 glazed donuts away from diabetes. Najee Harris that treadmill needs to start getting hit because, I mean, there's in-season shape and there's off-season shape. Najee Harris at this point is a shape, and it's round.
Wow. Okay. I feel like that's he's the idea here was that Najee's going to have more in the tank. And then we just, Omarion doesn't have to come in and be that every down guy. So then we can he had a lot of carries, right, at Carolina. They used him a lot. I would love to be able to start his NFL career kind of easing him into it.
I just love that the Chargers have two of my favorite running backs over the last two drafts in Amarian Hampton and Kamani Vidal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that tells me, Tank? Tells me that
What's that?
Jim Harbaugh and I see this very much the same way. And I like that.
Indeed. All right, the other A+, the Baltimore Ravens.
What do you want me to say? That Baltimore's better than your team? Because they are. What do you want me to say? Baltimore's smarter than your team? Because they are. Malachi Starks, we said this throughout the whole process. You watch, a smart team will take him. He'll fall further than you want him to, further than he should. A smart team will take him. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have Malachi Starks, Darius Washington, and Kyle Hamilton. By the way, do you know what that Malachi Starks pick did? That means now they can move Kyle Hamilton all over the formation. Take luck, because he's going to play some linebacker. He's going to play some in the slot. He's going to play at safety. They're going to play 3 safety looks. They're going to move things all around, and they just got a lot more difficult to game plan against.
Mm-hmm.
They also got a lot more difficult for quarterbacks to discern what they're doing because they have way less tails now than they did before.
Mm-hmm. And they possibly got a good boost to the pass rush as well in the second round with Mike Green.
Look, I don't know. The Mike Green thing, the off-the-field stuff, I couldn't confirm any of it. I'm not saying it didn't, that the allegation wasn't there. Mm-hmm. I never got anybody that had done anything actionable on it. It's very obvious to me that NFL teams were very uncomfortable. Baltimore wasn't. Baltimore wasn't uncomfortable. They got out in front of it early. They said, yeah, we checked into it. Mm-hmm. We checked into it. We found nothing actionable. That's exactly what I said. I went down both rabbit holes. There's not so much as a police report. There's not so much as one corrupt small-town sheriff's deputy that was looking to make $20 that would tell me squat throughout the entire process. And then nothing at Marshall. At some point, it's worth the risk. And that's where Baltimore got. It was my number 7 player on the board in terms of just sheer talent. Mike Green was my 7. They got him in the 50s. 59, I believe.
It's a good organization that knows when to take its shots.
And then
and I have no doubts that this is going to go the way that Baltimore wants it to.
Baltimore will put somebody. He'll have a shadow everywhere he goes. Somebody's going with him. You're not going to have the chance to get in trouble there, big boy, because we got Terrell Suggs here who's following you around every place you go.
Mm-hmm.
You'll go home and play Call of Duty and not do anything stupid. And then you look at what they did from round 3 on. Emory Jones, incredibly competitive, anchor-heavy guard from LSU. Teddy Buchanan, who was ridiculously popular through the process as a high-end project linebacker that they just took in front of everybody else. Carson Vinson, who I think I said his name 5,000 times through the process.
That you did.
Bilal Cohn fits that scheme perfectly. He's a really high-end prospect. He just needs some time. You did take a kicker, which tells me Justin Tucker, I hope you might want to call a good realtor. You should try ClarissaSellsWNC.com because she's really good at selling houses. And I have a funny feeling you're going to be selling yours pretty soon.
Right.
Then you got Wester, the kid out of Colorado, and Aeneas Peebles, who I loved. You got him at the end of 6. Robert Longerbeam was one of the best slot corners in this class. And Garrett Dellinger, another guard from LSU that I didn't love the tape, but he had a draftable grade on him.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, would you like to take a guess at how many teams in the NFL had more than 4 picks and every single player they took was a draftable grade for me? It's Baltimore Ravens, end of message.
It's a machine that just never stops. They seem to find pretty good talent at a pretty high rate. And you're going to continue to be a threat as long as you could do that. I'm baffled that the NFL continues to let this happen. We keep letting these players fall in their laps.
Well, because teams worry.
I was so happy for Malachi Starks.
Well, a lot of teams are. I'm trying to say this as a draft guy where, the career arc it's pointing upwards. So I'm trying to say nice things so as to not change my career trajectory. Some teams are really bad at this. Some teams are really good at this. The Baltimore Ravens are one of those teams that's really, really good at this. And you look at them as time goes on, it just keeps getting gooder and gooder. And I'm not surprised. If you had told me coming into this draft that Mike Green was going to fall, like a precipitous fall, not he fell out of he fell out of the teens and he went into the 20s. No, he's going to fall into day 2. One of my first questions would be, where did Baltimore or Philadelphia end up taking him? And they did.
Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is the ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We'll continue the AFC team grades next.
This is a story of the one.
And we're clear.
Specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
We got a super
Grainger,
chat from
for
Matt,
the ones
too.
who get it done.
Some people just know they can save
Basically
hundreds
asked
on
about
car insurance
what's
by
bad
checking
about
Allstate
Green Bay.
first.
So all the
Like,
things you said
checking
before,
out the
you can
phone
say
first,
again because
before
they
the
didn't
cab
hear it
pulls
on
away.
YouTube.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone, come back.
Okay.
My boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life, come back.
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates.
That's upsetting. I felt like I wove a tapestry of backhanded compliments.
Chaperone is here, and she is unfiltered on Los
What I missed.
Futuristas. I gotta warn you, there is no topic off limits. Plus, Kate Cassidy breaks her silence on Purpose with Jay Shetty. She talks about Liam Payne, and it's an episode you do not want to miss. Plus, Amy Lou Wood drops by On Air with Ryan Seacrest, and she says she felt pretty ugly after learning her casting process for White Lotus.
Explore the latest. Open the free iHeartRadio app and see what's trending now.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic Sports in North Carolina. This message presented by the NCHSAA and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association.
All right, folks, let's get started. Parents, thanks for coming. As many of you know, I'm Coach Mather. Tonight I want to talk about the season, of which I only have one expectation, that everybody gets stronger. When I say get stronger, I'm not referring solely to physical strength. Sure, we'll be in the weight room, we'll be running stairs, but we're also going to focus on developing mental toughness and grit, because those are the characteristics that allow us to achieve greatness both on and off the court. So, how do we develop those things? By getting comfortable with a challenge, by cultivating the confidence necessary to overcome adversity in all forms. That's why I coach. That's my purpose. Every member of this team can lean on me, and I'll teach them how they can lean on themselves and each other.
This message presented by the NCHSAA and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy at home here in the Ingalls studio. Yes, yeah, I'm just so happy to be back. There was We've been on a lot of great adventures this year with the Ingles Living the Dream Tour, and this was another great one. But Wisconsin made me homesick, and I know Jeremy has felt the same way.
It did make me homesick. I was very glad to be home. It really made me not here sick more than anything. It's not. I don't have to go home. I just don't want to be here. The roads are atrocious. I'm shocked that any place has roads that bad. And I don't think I explained this well in the opening segment. They have like 5-foot stretches of road. We drive a gigantic Ford F-250 from Parks Ford to Hendersonville that is awesome. But it's got really big tires. We have 37-inch tires with a 7-inch lift. So when we hit things in the road on big tires, it's going to make a noise because you have big treads. And we did that so that if we went to places that we had to have four-wheel drive or anything like that, we wouldn't get stuck. We're hit with what felt like rumble strips from the house all the way to maybe 10 miles short of Green Bay. I couldn't even read my phone. It was shaking so hard. And it's not the truck. It's the road.
Right at the fresh pavement. That was 13 miles to Green Bay. There was a sign. So 13 miles is when they just quit caring and went, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Most people driving on these roads, they're driving tractors anyway. So we don't need to worry about it. I guess it was a county thing. I don't know. Whoever it is, you need to invest more in the infrastructure.
Do gooder.
Yeah. I get it's a pain up there because, the freezing water on the, makes cracks in the roads and potholes and things like that. But I guess that's why everything's built in little panels, right? Because they've just replaced them panel by panel as they get a giant pothole from all of the permafrost up there.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Cows cross this road every day. I mean, hey, it's not pleasant.
Yeah, the weather wasn't even all that bad the first day that we were there. I mean, it did start to rain and storm a little bit after we were there. It was, the temperature wasn't cold. Once you stepped into that stadium, though, it was like walking into a refrigerator. Zach Hurst said this, and I can't get it out of my head, that going into that stadium felt like you could still feel the ice bowl. Like the concrete in that building is permanently frozen. It's just everything was just it was very droll. It was very Midwestern. It was one time only. One time only. And we're back.
That's, I'll just go ahead and tell you, I didn't leave anything there that I really need back.
No.
So I will not be going to get it back if I left it.
Exactly. If I had left it there, that's theirs now. That's your tip. Thank you, Wisconsin. Will not come again.
Thank you, Wisconsin.
All right, let's go ahead and take the bottom of the hour break. And when we come back, we will continue with B grades or just A grades?
We have one more A+.
Okay.
And then there's not a lot. There's not a lot of meaty clackers to the AFC. There was a lot of good. There was a little meh. And then there was a whole mess of bad.
Okay. All right. Back from the Ingles Living the Dream Tour. Again, thanks to Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices. Love the savings. Parks Ford of Hendersonville for the sweet, sweet ride that it does need its shocks checked now.
Oh, by the way, you didn't read the super chat that was the reason we said what was wrong with Green Bay.
Oh, I apologize. All right. Super chat.
which only tells me that Kansas City had a really good draft. It makes me very happy. A couple respectable sources had A's for my Chiefs that Jeremy uses all the time. Well, it's funny you said that because when we come back, you're not going to have to wait real long to hear your Chiefs because I agree with everything you just said. I don't just think they had a good draft. I think they had a great draft. And then after Kansas City, these 4 teams look down on the rest of the league like, what are you doing down there, plebes?
Speaking of sleep deprived, did you read the super chat from Matt?
Dude, go home.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I did. Okay. And then elaborated on it. Tank, do you have somebody to take you home? Because I think you're sleep drunk right now.
I am. I must be. I apologize. You're in the Sportsocracy.
Yeah, like 45 seconds ago, actually.
Did you? Okay. All right. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Your mountain weather forecast. Still looking great and still think a small rain chance tomorrow afternoon. Maybe a little better chance in here by Wednesday. How about a sunny 75 today? Not bad. Tonight, clear 50. Tomorrow, maybe a hit or miss storm in the afternoon up near 80. Wednesday, a few showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Highs will be just above 80 degrees. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by...
No, I'm not okay.
Bring into...
My brain is scrambled.
Of unbelievable offers. Spring into action with Apple Tree Acura because these savings won't last long. Apple Tree Acura, Western North Carolina's local Acura dealer and home of the Apple Tree Advantage. I-26 Airport Road, Asheville.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to worry about, like snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
The new iHeart app just looks better.
The best feature of a car radio on the app.
It's the presets.
It's super easy.
And thank you for keeping it free.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeart Radio app today.
iHeartRadio.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the hardest hit areas in those first hours. Like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah, and they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
Back on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. It is the Sportsocracy. It is NFL Draft Grade Day, as we have returned from our little trip to the 2025 NFL Draft. And, I did not go hibernate like Jeremy did after we got home yesterday. I
didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
I got home and I felt like there were 25-pound plates on both my eyes. I looked at Amy. I went, I can't tell you how long I'm going to survive. She's like, I want to hear about your trip. And I went, tomorrow's a good time to talk about that.
I thought that was what was going to happen to me. However, I went home and, I had dinner with the family. We sat down, we watched a movie, and then, went to lay down, and it didn't happen. I didn't get to fall asleep immediately. So, as regrettable or not that situation was, here we are. Today will be my crash day. I can guarantee you that. It is draft grade day, though, and you, Jeremy, have one more A+ to give us?
The Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, what did Kansas City need to come out of this draft with?
Offensive line help.
Josh Simmons, strong. He'd have been a top 10 pick had he not gotten hurt last year. They got him at 32 after trading down with Philadelphia. Oh, then what?
I felt like they needed to get a weapon out of this.
Jalen Royals, guy that we kept constantly talking about in the first 3 rounds. Developmental piece. Yeah, he's a slot guy, but he's really good with the ball in his hand and just an absolute dog. They got him at the end of 4.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a little insurance policy for Isaiah Pacheco?
Well, not really so much that. Brashard Smith's one that can work in tandem with him.
Right.
As a pass catching back. Just a dog. Also, you needed somebody to play the other defensive tackle spot because you didn't have one. Omar Norman Lott.
Uh-huh.
Of which now you've got Chris Jones and Norman Lott coming from the inside. Good luck with that. Ashton Galati to rush the passer. Noel Williams, who is one of my favorite corners in this class. Oh, and just as the little cherry on top of the sundae, you got Jeffrey Bossa in the 5th round. This looks like a class that could have been mine. Like if I'd have been a GM, I could easily see this having been the class that I came out of this draft with.
Yes, there was not a single guy on this list that we did not spend time on and you did not have, glowing things to say about them.
They also had every pick on my board. I realized after I said that, there were more of those than I thought there were. When you only had 6 guys that weren't on your board, I do think I said draftable grade, though. So Kansas City hit that as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The Omar Norman Lott pairing with Chris Jones is going to be fun to watch. That'll be terrifying for everybody in that division. And then
the Las Vegas Raiders. They got an A. There was no plus with the Raiders, just the standard A.
I said on Sunday or Saturday, that I like to hate on the Raiders, but that class, pretty solid.
Do you know how hard it is for you to get an A from me when you break like Rule 3?
Yep.
That'd be like getting into heaven after you killed somebody. It's real high on the list that you ought not do that.
Mm-hmm.
They found a way. And not only that, they took one at 6, and not even my 1. Genty was not my 1 at running back. But even with that, and I didn't love that pick, I'm just going to level with you. I thought they would go anywhere else. But you get Genty there. You get Jack Betch at the end of the 2nd round after a trade down that netted you an extra 3rd-round pick, and you went Darian Porter, Caleb Rogers. I thought it was a little high on Rogers, but then you made up for it by going Charles Grant. So now you have 2 of the best developmental offensive line pieces in this class, and you took them back-to-back. Well, surely to God they didn't do anything in day 3 when you got all that. Well, but they did, though. because you got the biggest, fastest receiver in the class who may never be anything, but he also may be the best deep threat to come out of the class. Tonka Hemingway, who's just another of my favorite South Carolina game chickens that I'm a huge fan of, by the way. If you didn't hear what that turned into over the course of the draft, I can 100% not say it here. It was awful funny.
Yes, it was.
J.J. Pegues, who played fullback, tight end, and defensive tackle at Ole Miss. Tommy I think it's Malott. From Montana State, who is a quarterback that ran a 4.38. He's going to play receiver in the NFL, but that's a lot of fun little tricky plays you can run with him. Cam Miller out of North Dakota State, a nice third quarterback, a nice kid to have in the room. And, oh, by the way, you got one of my favorite 3-4 inside linebackers in Cody Lindenberg at the end of the seventh. The Raiders, every time they came on the clock, Q Myers is a big Raiders fan. He's from Vegas. I just kept looking at him going, what's your team going to do now? What do you do next? Because you've hit everything you needed to. Now it's just let's keep drafting good players.
Yes. It appears that there has been quite the change with the Las Vegas Raiders, one that we expected, right? You bring Tom Brady in. Now you got Pete Carroll in charge. Things were destined to change for this team. No one should be shocked. This is a solid class. After Vegas,
the Tennessee Titans, B+. Throughout the process, I'm not going to say I didn't love Cam Ward. I just had some reservations about him. The more that I talked to people specifically about Shadur Sanders, the more I started to really love Cam Ward. The more I started to go, why is it that every smart guy I talk to in this league tells me how good Cam Ward's going to be? Because he has all the intangibles, the tools are there, and then there's the fact that this kid's just never going to be told no, ever, 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 ever. He's going to do what it takes to be an absolute dog.
Mm-hmm. Have you noticed how many of the social media clips of him have been going around since the Shadur thing? Right, that's been trending, and got a lot of clips floating out around there about Cam Ward being asked questions like, "Who should the Cleveland Browns take?" Or Cam Ward. If you want to win, you're going to take Cam Ward. He talks different.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The clip that's been going around with him and Shadur on the field. I don't remember what practice facility they were at. It might have been Washington's practice facility.
I'm 95% sure what you're talking about is fake. If you're talking about the one where he said, I play football, when he asked him if he
Yeah,
that's fake.
Is it?
That's fake.
I hate AI.
It's not hard to figure out. When they move like robots, it's not real. AI can't simulate movements of people. See, because if you're watching this on YouTube, you see how my hand moves? It can't figure that out.
Okay. I'm not shocked.
I like Cam Ward a lot. Then you added the pass rusher in Oladejo from UCLA. Kevin Winston Jr., that's a super high upside, and my best comp on him was Kevin Byard, who had an awfully good career with the Tennessee Titans. You get Chimere DK at the top of 4, who is super fast. I don't know how good of a receiver he is, but he is really, really fast. Gunnar Helm, nice nuance, not super athletic. And then you hit the Jeremy double play. You got Alec Ayumanor and Jackson Slater at the end of 4 and 5, and I went, I don't care what you do from here on out. I don't care if you draft Aunt Betty and Uncle Lou with your last 2 picks. Almost a B+.
B+ for the Tennessee Titans.
I don't love Oladejo as much as a lot of other people do.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be kind of a linebacker edge hybrid. And I still look at the fact, Mike Green was on the board, right? Well, we didn't want to put him in Nashville. Okay. I mean, I'm still going to ding you for it, but okay.
Maybe they didn't want to take the risk.
Sure.
Maybe they hadn't done the background.
Yeah, call the FBI.
Right.
They'll tell you.
Maybe not.
And that's entirely possible, by the way.
Maybe they hadn't planned.
Because when they locked in on Mike Green, they probably did not do a ton of background on guys that they didn't think there was any path they were going to be able to get up to.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they didn't have a third-rounder originally.
Mm-hmm. All right, after Tennessee at the B+, who's next?
This one shocked me a little bit. It was a B+ too. The Indianapolis Colts. I didn't think I was going to love this class, and it was quiet. As time went on, it was just really quiet that they kept doing smart things. You take Tyler Warren, who falls right in your lap, which I didn't see coming under any circumstances. So you get your elite tight end that you've wanted forever. JT Tuimoloau in the second round. That's good. Then you had the reason this is not an A, because you took Justin Whaley about 5 rounds too high. I had a barely that was the first come again for Judge Fudge that I heard of the 2025 NFL draft. I mean, I don't hate the kid by any stretch of the imagination. He's just a small corner, and I'm not real sure why you felt the urge to take him right there.
Mm-hmm.
But Jalen Travis was a homer. DJ Giddens was a homer. Riley Leonard, sure. I mean, I guess your top 2 cornerbacks are running guys that can't throw, so you might as well have a third one.
Right.
And then Tim Smith and Hunter Wohler were 2 of the best picks in the last 60. Hammer. It's just a hammer draft. I feel like every time we start to second guess Chris Ballard, he has to go, oh, no. No. I am the walrus. Here I am to do the things.
Mm-hmm. So did they do enough to matter in this division? Are they going to? Are they going to be a threat with what they've added?
A threat to what?
To the top of the division.
To win it?
Yeah.
No.
Are we?
The Texans are the best team in this division by a pretty wide girth. However, if you told me Indianapolis contended for a playoff spot, I wouldn't be shocked. Now, the real question is how long before you figure out Anthony Richardson is bad? I mean, if Anthony Richardson got abducted, this should tell you how little I think of Anthony Richardson. If he got abducted by space aliens right now and you told me Daniel Jones played all 17 games, I'd say the Colts have about a 70% chance to make the playoffs. With Anthony Richardson, it's about 7.
Mm-hmm.
But, I like what you're building around this team. I just can't stand your quarterback. This is the reason I always say don't reach on a quarterback. If you don't like one, don't take one.
Yep.
Go sign Joe Falco or whatever you got to do. There are veterans out there you can win games with. Is it a permanent solution? No. But you can have a permanent problem if you take a guy that you're not in love with. I didn't think they were ever really in love with Anthony Richardson because I couldn't figure out how anybody that smart ever would be. You talked yourself into it. That's how you end up divorced, by the way. Well, I mean, she's not perfect, but she does enjoy me. And she thinks I'm funny. Dude, she tried to set you on fire. You say I don't, and you walk away.
We can work past it.
She has a tattoo of a dagger. She has a pet snake. She voted for Bernie Sanders. I could keep doing this.
Her nickname is Little Cheese Curd. She's from Beavertown, Wisconsin, and you should just say no.
That little cheese curd thing, nobody but you, Zach Hurst, David Smith got that, but it was funny. It's every girl's nickname in Little Badger Bay, Wisconsin. My little cheese curd.
Yeah,
her name's Linda. She works down at the bank. She's sweet.
Oh dear. All right. And the last team of the hour.
Oh, that's the wrong team.
No.
I saw it and I went, no, that can't be right. Oh, it's the other team in this division. The Houston Texans. Houston had one of the weirdest drafts I think I've ever seen.
Weird how?
So when I did the official mock draft, which, by the way, for those of you that asked, how did Jeremy do in the media contest? Badly.
Not good.
Now, in the top 100 contest, I finished goodly. Mock draft, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
I had heard there was a chance that Houston was just going to trade out of the first round entirely, which I found to be strange. Then I figured out why after I saw who they drafted. Jaden Higgins was a little bit high to me. But when you look at the fact they don't have Tank Dell for this upcoming season, Jaden Higgins is going to play primarily out of the slot. He'll play some on the outside, which makes a lot of sense when you see Jalen Noel, Jaden Higgins' teammate from Iowa State that they took in the third round. So now you got two receivers that are really comfortable with each other.
Mm-hmm.
One that has inside-outside flexibility. That receiving core is pretty good. You got Ariante Ursery in the middle of it because you traded all over the board. I think Houston traded every pick they originally had and just moved around. I love those first three picks. It's three absolute hammers. Might be my favorite top three of any team in this league.
Okay.
Then's where it went a little sideways. And the reason that you're the last team of the hour and we weren't talking about you much earlier. What are you doing with Jalen Smith? Like, Jalen Smith was a 6th, 7th round pick that you took in the third. You traded up to get Woody Marks, who I'm not lying to you, I forgot was in this class. Because he had done nothing through the whole process. You traded up to get him. There was no fear of anybody else doing it. I'll never understand how those things happen. Oh, we have to trade up to get this. You mean the guy that probably 24 teams forgot was here? You didn't have to trade up for him. You could have sat right in your spot. I love the Jalen Reed pick in the 6th. He was one of my favorite and lightly talked about safeties in the class. And then you ended up with Graham Mertz, which I don't. Why?
Yeah.
Like, when you make those picks, why'd you not just go to the commissioner and go, pass? we don't want to make a pick. We're picked out, Coach. We're picked out.
Oh, because why not? Because my backup last year was Case Keenum still? Is he still doing
still
that?
is. Because whoever it was before you drafted Graham Mertz, it still is.
Sure.
Because he's not good at football.
Yeah, we're inviting camp arms at this point.
Keontae Hamilton and Luke Lachey is if his bones weren't made of popsicle sticks, he would have been way higher.
Mm-hmm.
He's just been hurt over and over, and he gets a little bit slower every time he gets hurt. He's about 2 injuries away from being completely sedentary. But, man, if he could stop getting hurt, he could be a good football player.
Yeah. So the Houston Texans get what?
A B.
A B.
A standard
solid
B.
B from Jeremy Green at ESPN Draft Nerd on the social media. So go and fire your questions over there. Just throw them into the chat. Sportsocracy.com. Click that live video link. Subscribe to the channel so you can weigh in on the AFC draft grades. We will continue after this.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
Your mountain
They're
weather
trying
forecast.
to figure out what grade I'm going to give the Browns. The Browns are the first team in NFL history that I gave
Wednesday.
2 grades to.
How about a sunny 75 today? Not bad. Tonight, clear 50. Tomorrow, maybe a hit or miss storm in the afternoon, up near 80. Wednesday, a few showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Highs will be just above 80 degrees. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Luxury is having a choice between Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Craving Boxes. It's luxury because there's no wrong choices. There's just right cravings. So choose your Lux Cravings box at Taco Bell today. At participating stores while supplies last. Prices vary. Drinks exclude freezes. Tax extra.
What do you mean?
Nothing sounds the way it's supposed to.
in bonus bucks. You'll have more money
The
than
next
lose
time
on
the
your
weather
fantasy
comes up,
league.
listen to Ray Station.
The winning happens every weekday.
Every bit of
right
it is
here
sped up or
ESPN
slowed down.
Asheville.
And I
Looking
don't
for a
know
career
why
with
it's happening.
stability and purpose? NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring correctional
I didn't know
officers
that was
statewide
Ray
with a
until he said the
$10,000
name.
sign-on bonus, paid vacation, and benefits. Learn more. Visit dac.nc.gov/c.
All right, I'll investigate.
One, as a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again. Because more people are listening to the radio on iHeart today than they were 20 years ago. And only iHeart Broadcast Radio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, social, any other media. Even twice as many teens than TikTok. And that reach means everything. Just think about the universal marketing formula. The number of consumers who hear your message times the response rate equals the results. Now let's get those results growing for your business. Radio's here now more than ever, and iHeart's leading the way. Think radio can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, podcasting, and radio, where the reach is real. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. Or call 844-844-iHeart. One more time, just call 844-844-iHeart and get radio working for you.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this month's Parks Community Heroes, Corey and Kristen Short and the entire team at Silverados, who converted their music venue in
Listen
Black
to this
Mountain
commercial.
into a donation and distribution zone in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Corey and his team founded Valley Strong Disaster Relief, dedicated to providing essential support to our neighbors in need.
Yeah, I don't know why.
His voice is 2 octaves too high.
Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Looking to buy or sell in Western North Carolina?
I talk to the guy once a week. I know exactly what his voice sounds
we're
like.
Proud
It's
to
not
be
like
the number
that.
one real estate.
Yeah, I don't know.
Selling over 100 homes in 2024. We represent both buyers and sellers, and with a personalized approach to meet your needs.
At Clarissa Sells WNC, real estate
I will
isn't
say
about
I'm glad to be
properties.
back
It's
to,
about
you know,
people.
internet
Call me
connection.
today.
So that drop
Clarissa
frame
Marshall
thing is
at
it's zero where it's supposed to be.
828-774-6343. When it comes to real estate, we're here for what matters most, you.
Now, sometimes it don't always work for an injury, you know, but it practice makes it perfect.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks
that's
Community
what his
heroes.
voice sounds like.
Like Trenton Doug, whose first instinct was...
I don't know if that's in the file of that other one or what.
It's been on like half the
Like
commercials that he
Spencer,
played today.
who helped
Okay.
breed to rescue
Clarissa's
7
got one
families
where she
after
slowed
the
down.
road was washed
That was
away.
the first one I
Nominate
noticed
your
it on.
Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com.
Must be a ghost in the machine or something.
Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
I just reset everything, so
Bonus bars. Once you win a
hopefully it'll reignite the system.
happens every weekday right here
on ESPN Asheville.
Explore a career as a correctional officer. NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring with a $10,000 sign-on bonus. Becoming a correctional officer can be a rewarding first step along a criminal justice career. Visit dac.nc.gov/co jobs.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
From the Ingalls Studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, cash. That's cash. Enter it now.
Go to ESPNAVL.com to play, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls Studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire than cannons. By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh, my God. The Jets killed him.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat. It is return day. So glad to be home.
It's return of the fat.
Green Bay, Wisconsin. Yes, Green Bay, Wisconsin is. I believed it sucked my soul out of my body. Honestly, driving 13 hours yesterday was not my idea of a great time. I mean,
I can't say this out loud on the radio, but I can say it in the chat. Here I go.
Oh dear Lord. It was not the greatest of times. We didn't die. I don't feel like we almost died. I mean, there was that one guy in Indianapolis that I cut off. Just straight. It's my turn now.
Oh yeah,
I'm going.
Tank's staring at a red light and goes, "It's my turn." No, it's not. That's not how roads work, Tank. I've been asleep for 4 hours. It scares me that this happens the 1 second I'm awake because that means it probably happened before.
I apologize. So that was the only time I'd hope that I did that.
Indianapolis was not a fun part of the travel.
I'm on average for one a day. I'm on average for one ignored traffic signal or stop sign a day while we were in Wisconsin.
I did wake up for one very loud horn blow from a car in Indianapolis. And they were doing the same thing that I felt like Andrew Barry wanted to do to the camera when they panned to him after the Shadur Sanders pick. And it was just, na, 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 na. That was a full double bird Steve Austin style for those of you that can't see me on YouTube.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Green Bay, it was a trip. I called my mom and I said, "Look."
Did you tell her you loved her and you weren't sure you were going to make it home? Because I'm losing the will to live fast.
Well, because look, my mom, she's a person that talks about, all the things that maybe she wanted to do that she didn't get a chance to do in her life, and she's coming to grips with things that she'll never be able to. She's like, she's getting to be 70 years old, and she's probably never going to make it to travel overseas or to go to England or whatever, maybe we can make it happen for her. But we have these conversations all the time. And I just wanted her to know that under no circumstances should she go to her grave regretting the fact that she never went to Wisconsin.
Order the cheese online. Order the cheese online. Put your money in your pocket. Leave it be.
Right. Find those donuts. Do you still have the box of those donuts? Because I might have to order some of those online. Those diabetes donuts that we found in of all places, Manitowoc, Wisconsin.
Yeah, we were going to visit the Making a Murderer guy. I just wanted him to come to the window so I could go, "Did you do it? Tell me! Did you do it? It's driven me crazy for years."
Yeah, driving through that area was a little weird.
I will say this: you see some interesting looking. Why does every person have like the same body type? It seems like everywhere we stopped, it's.
I don't know.
What's wrong with you? Like
it's the same reason every piece of property looks the same.
They're all super friendly though. Like everybody we met was incredibly friendly.
Wonderful people, wonderful, passionate people who, you go live in that world. That's not my world to live in. I could not handle that more than I did. Anyway,
we have 2 super chats.
Yeah, they're not going to hire us as spokespeople.
Trust me, they could call me right now and say, "We want you to be the play-by-play announcer of the Green Bay Packers," and they would get the same thing that you got in Indianapolis. No, unless I can do it remotely from home. You set me up with a Zoom where I could do that from Asheville, North Carolina, we'll talk.
Yeah.
I don't like cheese that much. was what Tank got for trying to kill somebody in Indianapolis while I was asleep, and I got awakened by their car horn and that. I looked out the window and went, why are you flicking me off? I didn't do any – I was asleep 5 seconds ago. Take your plumber van and go away.
Mm-hmm. It's my bad. Completely my bad. You ever forget to hit the brakes? Happened to me. Just slowly roll right onto that on-ramp. Take my turn. It's my time. I felt like that was my Shadur Sanders moment. It's my time.
Yeah,
my turn.
That whole I forgot to hit the brakes thing would have worked, except you looked at them as it was happening and said, what are you doing? It's my turn. Except it's not, because that light is redder than the logo on your hat. So,
you know, sometimes you falafel, and I falafeled. My bad.
Oops.
It happened.
I will say it was quite pleasant to fall asleep in Wisconsin and wake up in Kentucky.
I'm sure it was.
That was nice.
I'm sure it was. I wish I could go to sleep and not be woken up until September ends. Dear Billy Joe, I think I need that much sleep.
Dear most overrated band of my lifetime, please sing Tank a lullaby so he can go CBCPs.
Yes, indeed. But we have more work to do here in the Sportsocracy. The Eagles Living the Dream Tour Season 1 has come to a close. And, of course, we could not have done it without our lovely sponsors, Ingalls Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. Clarissa sells WBNC.com, Bears Smokehouse Barbecue, and Parks Ford of Hendersonville. JW, you're gonna be seeing Jeremy real soon because we are due for an oil change in the Parks Ford mobile studio. But as always, she's a beaut, and she got us home safe and sound.
She's beaut, Clark. She's beaut.
No doubt about it. Continuing the AFC draft grades. Who had the best hauls? Well, you missed those if you're just tuning in, so you're going to have to go back and watch this the last hour as we had 4 A-pluses, the New England Patriots, the Los Angeles Chargers, Baltimore Ravens, and the Kansas City Chiefs all knocking it out of the park with their draft slots. Then just 1 A by itself with no plus, the Las Vegas Raiders with a nice haul, and then 2 B-pluses, Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. And then we finished it out with a solid B for the Houston Texans, who had a solid draft. So that leaves us or brings us about to whom, Jeremy?
The New York Football Jets.
You hated the first pick of Armin Mimbu.
I hate them all, to be honest with you. I do. What I said earlier about the Kansas City Chiefs draft looks like a draft that I would have had. The New York Jets literally went up and down the board and went, hey, who's a good player that Jeremy hates? Because I'm going to draft them all. Armin Mimbu, Mason Taylor, Azarie Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that they're not good. I feel like you took every one of them too high. Armin Mimbu was like my 25 overall. Okay. Mason Taylor was my 60-something and change. Azarie Thomas was in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
You just didn't get good value on anybody.
Arian Smith was that, and that was just
I
an
think
okay
it's
value?
funny that everybody's talking about how Arian Smith was a reach. I've heard that on every set of draft grades. That's another player. Every team in the NFL seemingly had him in for a top 30 visit. You know why? Because there's not many guys that are not itty-bitty that run as fast as Arian Smith does and can get open the way he does. The problem is the hands. If his hands are what I saw, and I saw him 2 times in 2 months, not drop a pass. Senior Bowl, electric. Had the best catch I saw all week. And he was just a dog. If he's that guy, that's not just not a reach. That might be the best value in the draft. What kills me is you talk about him as a reach, you don't talk about anybody else. And all 3 of them were. They're good players. It's just Mimbu should have been a late one at best. He had long arms and he ran fast. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
Can he play football? I don't know the answer to that. I mean, he looked fine at Missouri. I never saw an elite player. I don't care how fast he runs.
Yeah. And now I'm curious what the Mel Kiper grade was here. What's your grade for your Jets?
They're a B- for me.
A B-. Okay.
I mean, the thing with the Jets is that I can't kill them all that much because they came into this class, and I said, you need a tight end, you need a right tackle, you need a safety, you need a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
That was 4 of your first 5 picks. It's kind of hard for me to crush you on that. You also added a corner that will hopefully one day make Brandon Stevens a thing of the past. So
right.
I even gave you a little bump on that in spite of the fact that I don't like 4.58 Azareye'h Thomas.
Right.
I don't understand how you didn't draft a defensive tackle. That makes my brain ache.
I just feel like this is one of those drafts that, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Because there were scouts that had Armin Membo this high. There were scouts that had Mason Taylor with, or maybe not scouts. I don't want to say scouts. I will say, mock drafters, people who watch the process and make prognostications. There were people who thought Mason Taylor was a back end of the first round talent.
Yes,
I believe.
but none of those people made it to Green Bay because they were all in rehab. Look, and I have no problem. Notorious B.I.G.
was like
said,
a high second-round pick for a lot of people.
Notorious B.I.G. said in our YouTube comments, Jeremy, why do you hate their class? It's not that I hate their class. It's just a bunch of guys that I didn't value the way everybody else did.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Jets took all these guys where Mel Kiper told them they should go. I didn't see any of them there. I didn't see Azareye'h Thomas. I thought he was the top of the third tier. I'll be honest with you, there were a couple guys that went undrafted that I liked almost, if not as much as Azareye'h Thomas in Melo Dotson and Kobe Bryant. And you took this guy in the third. I mean, I don't see it. Mason Taylor's fine. It's warm and fuzzy to see him at MetLife wearing a Jets jersey when his dad played there. It's just, I don't love it. It was not a class that would have been, if I'm the GM, my class does not look that way. But it's still fine. You address needs. You took players you liked. I'm a lot madder about Brandon Stevens and Justin Fields than I am about this. And you resisted the urge to at any point go, Shadur Sanders. So I gave you a little credit on that.
Okay. The New York Jets with a B-. All right, who's after them?
Another B- with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh confuses me sometimes.
Okay, why is that?
Well, we always put them in that class with Baltimore, and then they do things that don't really make sense. Baltimore never does that.
What didn't make sense about this draft class to you?
Derek Harmon was a little high.
Okay.
I also don't know where you think – if you think you're going to play him as a nose tackle, and no team in the NFL likes to go, I don't give a damn what you think. We're going to play him at nose tackle. Yeah, but you shouldn't.
Cam Hayward's replacement.
That's
all that's been talked about since he got picked.
And I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Then what are you going to do with Keanu Benton? It's just that's not an actual fix to the problem that you had. The problem was you needed a nose. I don't think Derek Harmon is a nose. I have a funny feeling you're going to try to play him there because you're going to have Benton and Hayward and him on that line to start with. I have a weird feeling that 2 years from now when Cam Hayward moves on, you're going to have Benton and Harmon on the outside, and you're still going to need a nose tackle. You addressed look, I don't have a problem with Derek Harmon. The fact his mom passed away the night he got drafted is one of the top 5 saddest things I've ever heard in my life. Mm-hmm. And he's such a damn good kid. I don't love the tape, and I never did. I thought he was a little inflated. I never in a million years would have thought he would have gone 21. So I didn't love that. I love the Caleb Johnson pick in the 3rd round. I love the value on Jack Sawyer in the 4th round. Yaya Black's almost done with his 40, so he might make it to Pittsburgh by September. I liked the tape on him.
Yeah.
So I can't rail on you that much, but hey, that dude ran like a 4 or something like that.
I don't need him to run 40 yards.
And then there's the pick that everybody wants to talk about. Did they find their quarterback of the future in Will Howard? Oh, let me. You remember that website, Did Duke Win Today? And on the days that they'd lose, it was just no.
Yes.
Did the Pittsburgh Steelers find their quarterback of the future? No.
No.
Will Howard's a career lifetime backup, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. But if he starts a game for you, I don't even care who you're playing. I'll take them.
You better be forced into it.
I'll take them minus 3.5, and I don't even know who them is.
So it was just a meh kind of class.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike Derek Harmon. I dislike where you took him.
I think it's super Pittsburgh Steelery.
It is.
It's pretty safe. It's pretty safe because I think Derek Harmon is a talented guy, and maybe it's not going to work out if they try to play him at nose. But I mean, he's going to get good teaching. We know that much. Caleb Johnson, that's your next star running back.
Oh, and Caleb Johnson will be a stud in Pittsburgh.
Awesome. Jack Sawyer, that's a take your lunch pail to work guy. Pittsburgh Steeler all the way.
All I could think of when
that kid's got
him,
iron in his blood.
All I could think of when they picked him, because I had Zach Hurst sitting next to me, was that Lonely Island song, This is the Tale of Captain Jack Sawyer. And I sang it in my head for like, I swear, I was writing the rap part of it in my head for like 8 picks. Okay. Then I saw a butterfly and I went, somewhere else.
Oh, somewhere else. All right, you're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Take a quick break. When we come back, we will continue with the 2025 NFL draft grades in the AFC.
There's a lot to be excited.
Clear.
25. And for your Atlanta Braves, it's all about a fresh start.
1-2, he hits one well. Deep left field. Gonna head back to the wall. Boom! A 2-run home run!
Join us for Atlanta Braves baseball all season.
Fly ball deep right field. Hanging high. Carrying back to the chop house. Look out!
The Mountain.
Roger that.
Asheville's #1 sports station. ESPN Asheville.
Don't miss the Cold Mountain Music Festival at beautiful Lake Logan in Canton, North Carolina, Friday and Saturday, May 30th and 31st. This year's lineup has Fireside Collective, Melissa Carper, the Shed House Trio featuring Darren Nicholson, Denisha, Fancy and the Gentleman, The Last Rebel, and American Aquarium. Proceeds support the programs of Lake Logan, Camp Henry, and the Outdoor School. And for every ticket purchased, Lake Logan will donate $1 to support this year's participating jam musicians. General admission and camping tickets on sale now at coldmountainmusic.org.
Tariffs and your money? Well, we just offered our thoughts on the most recent episode of the How to Money podcast.
Let's say you do live in a state that gives you a tax break on $529. That's great, but don't invest those dollars once you put them in.
We're all about investing in a 529 plan. Typically, right? You want that tax-advantaged money to grow. But as you get close to needing to spend the money, de-risking is crucial.
In uncertain financial times, How to Money is here to help. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search How to Money, and start listening today.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
Welcome to Harvest Farms, where the best organic or natural products are waiting for you, where the fields are filled with flavorful delights, and every bite is backed with the highest quality and attention. This is a place of affordable organic adventure, where freshness reigns supreme, that can only be found at Ingles. Harvest Farms Organics. You'll love what's inside.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. like Daniel, a veteran who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dream the reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Glad to be home in the Ingalls studio, and it is AFC team draft grade day. After the Pittsburgh Steelers, Jeremy, who's next? Are we still in the you did okay range?
Yeah. Okay. We're fine. I mean, I'm not mad at you.
Okay.
I don't necessarily love it. Don't love what you did.
Right.
But it's fine.
Okay. All right. So we're working our way down now. We're to the middle of the scale.
The Denver Broncos. It's a C+. I like the Jahdae Barron pick to a point. I just really fear they're playing him on the outside. Because you've already got McMillan in the slot. Mm-hmm. So that feels like, I mean, I wanted you to take a corner. I just didn't want you to take that one. And I like Jahdae. I just hate him in that spot.
Okay. I think he should be more of the slot corner.
I like him more playing out of the slot. I like him more playing safety. I wanted him in that Brian Branch type role because that's what I think he does the best.
Mm-hmm.
Look, he won the Thorpe Award last year playing on the outside. So it's not that he can't do it. I just thought I thought corner was a very strong part of this draft, especially when they all started to fall. And look, nobody was talking about this. Every corner in this class fell outside of one.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
Jahdae Barron has to be good enough on the outside to cover twos in this league. Because you got Patrick Surtain.
You do. Look, Jahdae's a good player. Jahdae was in my top 20. The value's fine. I don't like this spot.
Okay. How about R.J. Harvey in the second round? Did you like that one?
See, this is where Denver's class went to hell in a handbasket to me. Because you took literally the next 3 players. You all took them all. You took all 3 of them too high. R.J. Harvey went at the end of 2. DJ Giddens, who I had ahead of him, and they're very similar, went in the 5th round.
Mm-hmm.
You took him too high. And I like R.J. Harvey, but you took him too high. Pat Bryant, I don't know how in the world you got there. With Alec Ayumanor still on the board, you went to Pat Bryant, who I had in the 6th round. I went, nope, that's the guy we got to get. Do you just plan on Bo Nix doing nothing but throwing passes to the end line? Because I will say Pat Bryant does a better job of keeping his feet in bounds than practically any receiver I've ever seen.
That's how we keep him accurate.
I guess. Savion Jones, okay. I didn't really have much of a problem with that one. That's about right. Maybe a little high, but about right. Q Robinson was your saving grace because that might be the best value pick of the entire draft. I was dumbfounded he made it that far. And I know there's not a great depth of tape. The very little tape you saw, at worst, he's now the best special teams player in the NFL. That's the dude who's going to be blocking kicks for you. That's the dude who's going to be blocking punts for you. And I think he becomes a very good situational pass rusher. Jeremy Crawshaw was the only draftable punter in the class. You needed one of those. And then for some reason, you drafted a basketball player in the 7th round and went, he had 4 catches last year. They were all touchdowns. If we throw it to him 40 times, that's 40 touchdowns. Okay. That's some of that Common Core math. That math don't math, but okay. You also failed to realize he can't play football at all. But, okay, you want to set a 7-round pick on fire. I don't know why you didn't just sign the kid, but okay.
But overall, okay-ish draft. C+ from Flostradamus Jeremy Green.
It was like when your wife's mad at you. It was fine. I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Fine. Stop asking me. It's fine.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah.
All right, we got a couple of super chats that we need to hit.
And that's shocking to me. I had a D grade on the Broncos. I didn't love what they did. It's just fine. It's just fine.
He really loved Q Robinson.
I do love Q Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
If you had taken him in the second round, I probably would like your class better. If you just said, hey, Pat Bryant's not going until the 6th, we'll still get him.
Yeah. I mean, on the overall report card, Q Robinson was he was your PE grade. He brought that GPA up just a little bit. It was your only A+ moment. All right, who's your next team in line?
The next one is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They get a C because you did get the best player in the class.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, it is about talent acquisition.
Yes.
However, you gave up your first-round pick next year, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're going to regret you did that. Because you're not good at all, and you're going to lose a lot of football games next year. I said this, 2 years ago with Houston? When they traded a first-round pick, it did not end up going this way. There is a possibility that next year the Cleveland Browns have the first and second pick, thanks to the Jacksonville Jaguars, in a class that is potentially real good. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I like Hunter too. It bothers me that they're talking about him more as a receiver than as a corner because that doesn't make a lick of sense to me. I think they're going to play him as both. This was one of the teams I had circled as he will definitively play both.
Yeah, you have to use him that way. I mean, that was half the reason to draft him.
No doubt.
Well, I mean, yes, he is an amazing talent, but that's why. That's why it never made sense to me when we kept hearing Cleveland talking about him as in, well, he's just a wide receiver to us, or hinting at you don't have enough time to play two sides of the ball. That's why that never made sense to me.
Yeah,
because
going to the combine,
you don't draft this guy unless you're going to. He's, you don't create that problem when a guy says, I'm going to the league and I'm going to play both ways. You don't immediately create a problem by drafting that guy.
Going to the combine was well worth it just to hear Andrew Berry say, we're not playing guys both ways. Because that was enough for me to go, well, then you're not drafting Travis Hunter. Now the question is, who are you going to trade him to? Or are you going to bypass him and he falls to 3?
Right. So Jacksonville gets up to 2, gets best player in the draft.
And gave up a fortune to do it.
Mm-hmm. But then in the third round, I know they got 2 guys that you liked.
They did. I mean, I like Ransall. The only problem is, how many corners do you need exactly? You already had Jerry and Jones that I was basically penciling into the slot. Well, that's where Ransall plays. So,
but that's how you buy snaps for Travis.
That has nothing. Travis Hunter plays on the outside, not in the slot, and neither one of those guys should be playing on the outside. So, what now? One of those times that I like the player, I hate the fit. Wyatt Millham, that one I liked. That's a starting guard for you immediately. And then day 3 happened, and didn't like it worth a excrement. Bayshell Tootin, well, he's real fast. Yeah, but he's not real good. He runs right up the keister of every offensive lineman he's ever seen. You don't block well enough for a guy like that. Jack Kaiser, I love him as the signal caller of a defense. You already have one of those. You just drafted a slow special teams linebacker. Jalen McLeod, Ray and Lane, I do like. Safety from Navy, I do like him. Jonah Monheim's fine, and I did like LaQuint Allen. I'm just looking at LaQuint Allen going, you took 2 running backs that are both probably going to be primarily pass catchers. Do you understand how the draft works? Do we need to sit you down and explain it again? Because you don't seem to understand it.
Mm-hmm. All right, a C for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The time has almost come to discuss that team that you all want to discuss, and the first team I've ever given 2 grades in the same year.
Interesting. More AFC draft grades coming up next here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Still looking great, and still think a small rain chance tomorrow afternoon. Maybe a little better chance in here by Wednesday. How about a sunny 75 today? Not bad. Tonight, clear 50. Tomorrow, maybe
I just saw your text. Bill
80.
Goldberg.
Wednesday, a few showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Highs will be just above 80 degrees. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stager.
This report is sponsored by eBay. Swapping out your tires? There's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at the prices you'll love. eBay. Things people love.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to...
I'm sheepies.
Snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
55 Beatty, Greenville. CordellCordell.com.
All about the presets.
That is the best new feature.
It's like a car radio right on the app. There's a list of what's trending. There's all the podcasts. I love it.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford, Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community Heroes, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Like Daniel, a veteran who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen.
We have a fantastic
fair,
super chat
insured,
coming
and
up,
local. Need
when we
tree
come
help?
back.
Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
Heading?
Okay.
Fresh means local. The best ingredients don't come from a world away. They come from your own backyard. From the farms we support, to the stores we love, to the tables you treasure. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. You can follow us on the follow us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy, and we do have a super chat to get into here before we close out the AFC draft grades for.
Michelle Tootin is a future urologist. Correct.
Okay. The name would suggest proctologist, but okay.
You're not wrong.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. I had to make a fart joke.
Of course you did, because you're
It's where
12.
I'm at. It's where I'm at right now.
You're 12 years old.
All right, Jeremy. 4 more teams left. Is this the spot? Is this the 2-grade spot?
No.
Okay.
The Buffalo Bills. C-.
Okay. Where did they falafel?
Ugh. I keep looking at this class just going, what exactly would you say you did here?
Mm-hmm.
Maxwell Harrison at 30. Hey, you needed a corner coming into the draft. Guess what? You still do. Hey, but he runs real fast. So is Usain Bolt. I don't want him playing corner on my team. The tape, one of the funniest things that anybody said this entire time, this entire draft process, was Notorious B.I.G. that said, who is going to get catfished by Maxwell Harrison?
Mm-hmm.
It was the Buffalo Bills. You got a guy I really like in round 2 in DJ Sanders. You just had to trade up to do it.
Better or worse than Kyer Elam?
Do what?
I said this is like the Kyer Elam pick.
Oh, I mean the Z's that Bayshell Tootin will be looking for as your proctologist or urologist was better than Kyer Elam. That's not saying much.
Right.
That's not a first-round corner to me. He never was, never will be.
Mm-hmm.
I like TJ Sanders a lot. I don't understand why you went Landon Jackson with your next pick. You needed an edge rusher. You didn't get one. You got a guy who plays out there, but he's really good against the run and really nothing else. Deion Walker, you really took me to heart when I said he wasn't a nose tackle. You didn't take me to heart when I said I don't know that he's actually any good at football. Their first 4 picks, 3 of them were defensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
Then you took a corner that does absolutely nothing for me, a blocking tight end. The 2 picks that I really liked were Dorian Strong and Chase Lunt in the 6th. That's a bad sign when the 2 that because I love TJ Sanders, but I hate that you traded up for him. And then Caden Prather's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. It's not a good class. Buffalo, how many defensive linemen do you need? Do you need 15 defensive linemen on this team? You had other needs. I also will never, if I live to be 200 years old, figure out how a team looked at Savone Ravel and Maxwell Harrison and said, I want the other one. There's this one that's really good, and he's got a knee injury, and he won't be – it's going to be a slow roll.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then there's another one. He's healthy as a horse, but he sucks, and I want him. Because Savone Ravel's knee will heal. The suckitude of Maxwell Harrison, that ain't changing.
Stop drafting for week 1.
Yeah, bad teams do that. And I hate to tell you this, the Buffalo Bills are a bad drafting team, and they have been for a long time.
Mm-hmm. C- for Buffalo. And then?
Now we get to the team that has 2 grades. If day 3 had never happened, we decided, you know what, this year, 2025 NFL draft, we're all real tired of Green Bay and we're ready to get out of here. Mm-hmm. So we're just going to sim to end. The Cleveland Browns would have had an A with just a trade fleecing of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
Mason Graham, Carson Schwarzenegger, Quinshon Judkins, Harold Fannin.
Dylan Gabriel.
Actually, I said that wrong. If we had stopped at pick 92, awesome. Then the rest of it happened. Uh-huh. And you went from an A to a big old duh. And that's why I use duh, because you can't say a big old that.
Duh.
Then people hear that and go, what did he just say? I hate this. I hate everything you did from Dylan Gabriel on. Dylan Sampson in the middle, it's fine. Him and Judkins, kind of a hat on a hat, but okay.
Okay.
Then you took the quarterbacks, and therein lies my problem. I want you to walk me through. I want you to make this make sense to me. And you're going to have to say it to me like I'm 5. Every team in the NFL said, I don't want the sideshow of Shadur Sanders. Cleveland takes it a round and a half after they took a far inferior quarterback prospect. You care to tell me what changed in the course of 14 hours? Because I'd love to hear it. Best case scenario, you got a fair to middling starting quarterback in the 5th round. And you set a 3rd rounder on fire. I think you set a 3rd rounder on fire regardless. Dylan Gabriel is top 5 dumbest picks I've ever seen a team make in all the years I've been doing this. I laughed audibly when that pick came down. Because I don't understand what you could possibly have seen in him. Now, the funny thing is, if they had taken Shadur Sanders with the 30th pick in the 3rd round, I'm fine. I don't love it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love it, but it's fine. Now you have 2 quarterbacks with Kenny Pickett in this room and Joe Flacco in this room, and it's going to be an absolute circus. You did this. You brought the circus to town. You fleeced Jacksonville. You didn't want Shadur. You made it very clear. I think it was Praise YJ that said he was their 2nd quarterback on the board. No, he wasn't, because they took one in front of him. And if they had either one of those guys ahead of Cam Ward, they're smoking crimes. This is the most obvious thing I've ever seen, that the owner came down and said, go get me Shadur Sanders. I'm going to be the guy that gets the media PR for being the one that stopped the slide on Shadur Sanders. What you don't understand is that's when the Deion tweet came back out of him saying, I would never play for Cleveland. I'd pull an Eli Manning. Deion, that's why you should probably stop talking. All the things that made you a great player are what make you a terrible coach and a horrible father of a prospect. I don't see how this works out for anyone involved. You also had a camera in your draft room that saw your reaction that looked like you had all just seen a dead body.
Yeah. Yeah. It's complete chaos. Absolute chaos. There was no plan. and you're just throwing darts at a board again. And when you have, Frank Langella coming down the hallway saying, "Make a splash, Sonny. Go get Shadur." I don't think it's going to go the way you want it to.
I don't think
With
anybody
your
in the
luck-
building wanted Shadur. I don't think Kevin
Yeah.
Stefanski wanted him. I don't think Andrew Berry wanted him. I think Jimmy Haslam came down, said somebody has to take him because we cannot listen to this as a league that didn't draft Shadur Sanders. We cannot listen to Stephen A. Smith and all the others make up whatever ridiculous nonsense they're about to spout. Somebody has to take him. Let us take the PR bump because it's a fifth rounder. Who cares? And that's why you're the Cleveland Browns. That right there is the living embodiment of why you're the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
I asked an official with a team this morning, why did you not take Shadur? You needed a quarterback. Why did you not take Shadur? The response I got, why would we?
Mm-hmm.
Did you read Twitter in between the 2 days of the draft? You think we wanted to deal with that? Nope. It's not just a throwaway pick because you got to understand you have this guy in the room. So now all 89 guys that come to camp with you, every time a microphone gets put in their face, they're going to be asked about Shadur Sanders. How many of these guys do you think really want to do that? How irritated do you think veterans are going to get that they're getting asked about the 144th pick in the draft over and over and over and over again? Oh, by the way, your coach is on the hot seat and so is your GM. I said the GM probably bought himself an extra year by fleecing Jacksonville, get that extra first-round pick. I'm going to tell you this, and I mean it. Whoever the next GM is, he's really grateful you did that because he's going to enjoy picking those 2 first-round picks next year because neither one of you are going to be here.
All right, let's get the super chat from Red Sea.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
He says, so the Cleveland Browns, who are currently dealing with a huge off-the-field issue at quarterback, take the biggest off-the-field red flag at quarterback in this draft. Yes,
Bingo.
you're correct.
Bingo.
You are absolutely correct.
That's the thing. That's what bothers me so much. And I see praise why Jay said that it had nothing to do with on the field. Shadur wasn't that developed of a prospect on the field. I said this over and over again. He's the best 7-on-7 quarterback you'll ever see because he's highly accurate and behind in a clean pocket, he's fine. Unfortunately, I could say that about a lot of quarterbacks over the years. Now you come in with this huge ego. Oh, he's got a chip on his shoulder. That's not the negative or that's not the positive you think it is. The chip on his shoulder is what pushed him down in the first place.
Yeah. All right, final 2 draft grades for AFC teams.
Now we get into this is officially real bad.
Okay.
Cincinnati Bengals, and I actually changed theirs. I had them as a D+, and I looked at this class and went, nope, I had that too high. It's a D.
Okay.
I don't think Cincinnati understands how the draft works. And I think Mel Kiper said about you don't really get it, do you? About Indianapolis in the early 90s. What did Cincinnati have to come out of this draft with?
What's that?
You needed a guard. You needed a couple guys on the defensive line, and you really needed them to work. What did you do? You took 2 linebackers, which I love. Gangster Granddaddy Demetrius Knight Jr. That's that's the only pick you made that I like.
Okay.
Where are you planning on playing Shamar Stewart? Because I feel like he's going to play on the edge. And I'm not going to like that at all. You've also got Miles Murphy. You got Chris Jenkins. I just feel like Cincinnati does not understand how to draft defensive linemen. The only one they've had in the better part of the last 8 years, specifically on the edge, was the one they traded for. Or signed away. I can't remember which one he was. It's Trey. That's it. You didn't scout him. You didn't find him, bury him uncover him out of nowhere. He hit elsewhere. You saw it there. I like the tools of Shamar Stewart. He's not ready to play right now. And with all of the other guys that were on that board, it blows my mind that you got to him at 17. It also blows my mind that at no point in this draft did you really feel like, hey, you know what we should do? We should probably take a really good guard. You took Dylan Fairchild, didn't change that you didn't take a really good guard. You also took Jalen Rivers, who's converting from tackle to guard. I don't know that you actually dealt with any real honest-to-God need here. Because I didn't have linebackers a need for them. That's the one position you hit on. I'm not sure you actually needed one.
All right, and then the Miami Dolphins.
Gary Busey. Got them buttered pancake, that buttered sausage. What are you doing? What's it on my plate for? What exactly would you say that was? Miami made, 8 picks?
Yeah.
3 of them were nose tackles. None of them can play together. What exactly do you think you did here? By the way, biggest need on this team was what? Because you're getting ready to either cut or trade Jalen Ramsey. So you needed a corner, right?
Yes.
You didn't take one until the 5th round.
Jason Marshall Jr. from Florida.
Who's not good. At least he wasn't last year. Tape before that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
If they cut Jalen Ramsey, as they say they were going to, or trade him or whatever, wherever you go, the Miami Dolphins, even with 3 good edge rushers, will be easier to throw on than a community college math class. I don't get it. I don't get how in the world did you get here? You took a running back in the 6th round that felt like you went through a bad breakup with a stripper and you went and started dating a librarian. Hey, these real fun girls that wasn't going well, so I went and got me a real safe girl. Because you went from the fastest running backs in the league to Ollie Gordon, who I think in a foot race I would outrun. Oh, and you took Quinn Ewers, too. Mm-hmm. This is why you're the Miami Dolphins. This is why you haven't been a threat to the Super Bowl in 30 years. And you'll continue to not be. And Mike McDaniel and I'm telling you, if I've never been so sure of anything in my life, that Dolphin team is going to go 7-10, and everybody in the building is getting fired. That might be top 10 worst draft classes I've ever seen. Not because I hate any of the players. I didn't hate Kenny Grant. I hated him at 3-4, which is what Miami plays. Mm-hmm. I don't hate Jonas Avanyea at all. It's one pick you had that I like. Mm-hmm. Love Jordan Phillips as a nose tackle. Don't understand why you needed 2 of them. Waited way too long on a corner. You took a middling special team safety. And then you took a quarterback and a running back that's a plotter in a system that requires you to have some pop. Oh, and then you took another nose tackle. What in the world are you doing? It was like every time Miami came on the clock, like, you're screwing with me, aren't you? I mean, at some point, this has to be you're screwing with me. Because I can't figure out how even a halfway competent NFL GM got to this point. And you took several of these guys way too high.
Right.
Kenny Grant was 10 to 15 picks too high.
The dreaded Gary Busey for the Miami Dolphins.
Don't worry. For fans of the Gary Busey, we have another one tomorrow. Ooh. And it's another one that you may not have seen coming. Because I didn't have him as Gary Busey originally, and then I kept staring at it, and it just kept getting lower and lower and lower. And then it became an Alex Jones. They're putting hormones in the water, making Ben Johnson go crazy.
Be sure to tune in for that tomorrow right here on ESPN Asheville and the YouTube stream each and every day at noon. We will have NFC team grades tomorrow. And then a much-needed little respite until the first mock draft Monday of the following week.
Are we doing a 26 mock draft that Monday? If we are, I should probably prepare for it.
Absolutely.
Oh, Lord.
Look.
Oh, God, there's something you can throw in the trash as soon as it comes out.
I don't know. It might be more correct than what you turn in because this past one didn't go very well.
It did not go well. I'll have to go see who was in my first mock draft last year because I'm not going to lie to you, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I know Deion Walker was way too high.
Hey, everybody else is jumping on the way too early train. We need to get you on the record before the process starts with the summer scouting. You're in the
Look,
Sportsocracy.
it's the NFL. It's the NFL draft. If you're down to clown, I'm around.
Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. See you guys back here tomorrow at noon.
ESPN Asheville.
We're clear.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Still looking great and still think a small rain chance tomorrow afternoon. Maybe a little better chance in here by Wednesday. How about a sunny 75 today? Not bad.
And scene.
Or maybe a hit or miss storm in
Boom.
the afternoon up near 80. Wednesday, a few
It's time for
showers
me
and
to go
thunderstorms
take
in
a
the
couch
afternoon.
nap.
Highs will be just above 80 degrees.
I'm going to go die.
You should.
This report
'cause honestly,
is sponsored
I'm
by the
worried
North
about you
Carolina
driving home.
Department of Public Safety.
Securely storing your gun can prevent a tragedy in your home. Every day in the U.S., 8 children are unintentionally shot, many with an...
Chug an energy drink or something. I'll make it.
Learn more, visit ncsafe.org. That's ncsafe.org.
Bonus bucks. And $1,000 in bonus bucks. You'll have more.
All right, man.
Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
The winning happens every weekday, right here
On ESPN Asheville.
Explore a career as a correctional officer. NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring with a $10,000 sign-on bonus. Becoming a correctional officer can be a rewarding first step along a criminal justice career.
Right.
nc.gov/c.
Wait a minute. I thought you were taking a break.
As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear.
There you go.
Housing's
There you go.
leave a lot of room to house all.
Yeah.
That's where Grainger comes.
All right, man.
Million industrial grade products and fast, dependable.
I'm out.
Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From